Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're going to react to some Dave Smith versus Dilbert and Fuckface. Can't wait on apparently a number of topics. But before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now. I want to burp right now, but I can feel it as I'm talking. Whatever. Join the Discord if you feel like. All opinions are welcome. Just nothing grotesque or pornographic. But if you want to join, go ahead. And obviously, this video...
You might not be there when they join, though. Because it's not live. So you should... I feel like you do that a lot. It's not really clear.
I'm not actually live, although the YouTube will tell you that, like, hey, this was streamed 2 hours ago, or it says uploaded 2 hours ago, right? So you should be able to figure that out. It's almost like timestamps. Hey, bro, you sent me a 5-hour video in your fucking link. What the fuck, bro? How am I supposed to find the thing? Well, when I do this, you can see the fucking timestamp right there. It's right on your screen. See that 5:32, you fucking idiots.
Really the same thing.
Come on.
Not the same thing.
They can't do that.
But go ahead.
Are they too lazy for that? Come on.
Yes. Yes.
Christ.
You see, they don't even watch the video or read the description where it has the sources, but you expect them to know that.
So if they hit play and they just go, you know, they double tap the screen, 10 seconds, right? They skip past everything. It's like, how can you blame me for that? I'm warning everyone. Here's your warning. Watch it for yourself in the description box if you want to watch it there. If we talk too much, go watch the video by yourself. Go do that. Hey guys, I'm not live right now. Oh my God. Do you need Jordan to notify you that we're not live?
Yes, because they might click on the link and be like, oh, he's not even here. He doesn't want to do feedback. Anyway.
I say everything I show you in this video is going to be linked in the description box. Like, it's simple. This is not rocket science. I'm sorry, I'm not going there. I try to be nice. Like, someone's like, hey, man.
You're not that nice.
You're copying Kyle's title. I'm like, I said reaction to, right? Actually add extra words. Like, reaction to Kyle Kalinske. Here's the title of it. Like, that's me being nice.
Copying Kyle's title.
I'm being nice.
That's funny.
Whatever. If you want to watch this,
go ahead.
If you want to watch this shit alone, please go ahead. Link in the description box. Meaning the Dave Smith on Dilbert and Fuckface, aka Triggernometry's channel. Go ahead. Anyways, there's no chance I watch every minute of this. It's not happening. So what I'm gonna try to do is like skip around topics through the timestamps that are awesomely there. I actually appreciate Triggernometry for that. I'll just skip through things, honest to God. And whatever piques my interest, whatever piques my interest, I will watch. So starting off, we're going with the timestamp, how things drastically changed after 9/11. And I believe it bleeds into the American Empire, which I'm also curious about. Which is, what, 1425? Okay, here we go.
So that was kind of your journey, which was looking at 9/11 and everything that happened. And I don't think people understand, for our generation, that had
I doubt they do the timestamps. They probably have AI.
Such a profound effect because, the crew that we've got, they're younger lads, and we talk to them,
and
it doesn't resonate.
They might have background guys working for them.
Who grew up, because I'm pretty much the same age, there was before 9/11, there was after 9/11. It literally felt like there was day, then there was night.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and even now, looking back at it all these years later, it feels like like in a time traveling movie. Like that's the
but you can even set it up to like do a summary of every 10 minutes.
It didn't just change the mentality of the country and the Western world for that matter, but it actually changed the country. Like we live in a different country post 9/11 than we did before 9/11.
We did live in a different world.
Yeah, no, right. And I mean, there's there wasn't a Department of Homeland Security. There wasn't a TSA. There wasn't a war on terrorism. There wasn't this the constant emergency state that we've been living in since 9/11. Even in the immediate aftermath of 9/11.
There was, though, for some people.
Even in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, it was controversial.
Muslims were here.
Whoa, this is really un-American. To start saying we don't need a judge to sign off on a warrant before we start surveilling people and all this stuff. And what they put into the Patriot Act, right, was like a sunset provision that, well, this will have to be approved every 6 years or whatever it is. and we'll have to come back and justify that the emergency is still here. But that's just, it just gets approved. I mean, I think they changed the name of it one year or whatever, but it just keeps getting, essentially my point is we've just accepted that we're in a permanent state of emergency since 9/11 and we govern that way. And I think it was, you know, we probably were ignoring a lot of problems in the 90s, but you kind of can't overstate to young people like you were talking about today, how different the world was back then.
It was
so much better in so many ways. But look, you know, there were
that's because of our
racial issues, obviously, in America, but the obsession with racialism was just nothing like it is today, pre 9/11. The country was a much freer country. The government was a much smaller government.
SJWs everywhere.
And there just was a feeling of security, perhaps an illusion of security that was.
Did Dave Smith miss out on George W. Bush? Does he think that was an accident of time period? Like, come the fuck on, bro. Come on, bro. What are we talking? Like, you know what? I'm trying to eat my beautiful, awesome grilled cheese here. Go ahead, Dave. Don't worry, your fans know everything. Don't worry, they got it all down. Don't worry about that. Here we go. And by the way, here it's probably gonna be another scenario where Dave ignores liars lying right in front of his face, which makes him what? Kind of impotent, right? Not worth it. Not worthy. Whatever. Sorry. Here we go.
Was really ripped away from a lot of people.
And what happened is that there was obviously 9/11, there was Afghanistan, which you can debate, should we have got involved, should we not have, should we have stayed for so long? All of those questions.
Is this one deliberate?
But I think where most sane people say we made a colossal error was Iran.
Okay.
Obviously.
And Iran,
I usually
in
call
many
him
ways,
Gus
I was
Gus.
thinking about this the other day when I was
Mouse
going for a
from
walk.
Cinderella.
And people might get a little bit triggered by this, but it was kind of our generation's Vietnam where we went,
It's more of a Gus Gus.
what you said and what the truth is, those are two separate things.
Yeah.
I would go even beyond that, which is it's not just what you said. It's like there were millions of people on the streets of Britain when we would have been, I don't remember how old we would have been.
We would have been
2020.
So we were in
Why that
2021.
to Delbert?
So we'd be 2021. Millions of us protesting against this, saying the thing that then turned out to have been exactly true. And yet our governments went and did it and also made the world less safe and more unstable.
The Arab-looking one is
that's
definitely the fuck
look,
face.
the thing with Afghanistan, right, is that the real catastrophe in Afghanistan was
Constantine
because the choice
kissing.
was made to not.
That's racist.
Immediately after 9/11, well before the army invaded, the CIA and special forces were taken out.
The Arab,
cells in Afghanistan. I don't think anybody was arguing.
I don't know what you're talking
about.
Right.
If there is someone arguing against
the Arab-looking
that's
one,
a very fringe,
the fuck
argument.
face.
But the decision was made. We're not just going to take out the Al Qaeda cells, but we're going to fight a regime change war against the Taliban, which is a totally separate thing. Like it's a much different thing to say like they're guilty of the crime of housing somebody who planned to attack us. Because no one was really alleging that the Taliban was in on the plans for 9/11. It was just that they essentially rented a room to Osama bin Laden and his guys. That's that's like going to war with the landlord because a murderer lived there. Look, maybe it's a little bit different than that.
It's a little different.
But it's certainly not a given that we should have
They rented a room
war.
because they really liked this guy Osama.
Yeah. Listen, sure. And I'm not, and our government had a long history with the Taliban, both positive and negative. But yeah, I mean,
what was the positive?
The Iraq war, and then also just the fact that
oil,
the fact that they this axis of evil together.
Heroin,
Iran and North.
That's
control of heroin.
That's totally not.
Yeah, but they're so upset about the what is it, the fentanyl coming in, right?
Oh yeah.
No, they don't want it coming in. They want to control its movement.
Can we make America? Listen, Dubster, stop it. Can we make America great again? Let's go back to cocaine and heroin and crack the way we were supposed to be, bro. Traditional. Let's make America great again.
Fentanyl.
Get rid of the fentanyl.
That wasn't the 50s. It was LSD and it was meth and it was the house will be clean when you got home because your fucking wife was tripping balls.
No, she took downers to turn her mind off from the mundane life she was living.
No, she took meth.
It took Xanax, bro.
No, she took meth.
It took opiates.
That was the thing for the 50s, is the women were on meth.
No, they're on like opiates, weren't they?
No, they were on meth.
Some of them were, but not all of them.
Are you in like the meth union or something like that? You're trying to. Whatever.
No, I'm saying that's what the stereotype of the 50s was. Is women were prescribed speed because it was prescribed to them, like the early forms of meth.
Well, they would say like, "Oh, I don't feel like doing something," or "I'm depressed," or something like that. Probably because like they don't have their own.
I think it's
shit.
the other way too, then. I thought it was like bored housewives, just like fuck it. Let me rip a downer.
I think probably more restless.
I don't know. All right, whatever.
There's probably a variety of cases.
Watch Dave Smith capitulate.
I mean, there's a bunch of stuff like, well, whatever. But even back like in Eritrea and stuff, back in the day, like women were getting married off when they were like 15. So it's like, and they'd be married off to like some older guy. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, go make babies." It's like,
Damn.
wow, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, do you know how traumatic that would be?
Well, apparently it's the DNA, man. Candace says, "Make your man a sandwich," because she's here for the upliftment
it's like
of humans.
She still like hid herself in a way where it's like, but anyway, yeah. So there's like a certain level, like if you put a bunch of people in situations like that, a bunch of women, you don't think that you're gonna get a feminist movement.
Yeah, exactly. The pipe will burst at some point, and someone's gonna say, "Fuck this."
Like what?
And there's be thousands of people that thought they were alone. They're like, "Wait a minute, someone that thinks like I think. All right, I'm in."
Yeah. And they'll go to the other extreme. Like, yeah. Like my grandmother is an example.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna do that. That's like just, and it's not like a Western thing. Like she didn't learn that from the fucking West. It's just like a yearning for choosing your own way. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's so human.
Didn't your country have women soldiers?
That was after.
Our country has.
I'm talking about my grandmother and my great grandmother's generations.
The U.S. has women soldiers. You fucking dingbat.
We did.
Say what?
We did. Mm-hmm.
The U.S. has women soldiers. You dingbat.
Not front line.
But they were conscripted. The women
front
were
line.
Not front line. Shut the fuck up.
No, Eritrea had frontline women soldiers.
Yeah, I know. They were my aunts are a bunch of them. From my dad's side.
Either way, we probably, let's be honest, let's cut the bullshit. We all know what's probably like the correct way to go about things when treating other people in our hearts.
It's not, yeah.
But we ignore it, don't we?
But, and it's not, but that's what it's like. You simplify something that's a lot more complex and nuanced into some like bite-sized narrative to fit some agenda that you don't actually even really believe in because you don't really flesh it out. It's more of just, I don't know. It's a signal to somebody or something or to an idea, an allegiance that you have allegiance to.
SJWs, they had to go down. Got to win the culture war. All right, let's apply.
It's not a question.
North Korea, 3 countries that the only thing they have in common is that none of them had anything to do with 9/11. Like it just clearly was not about that. And it was very transparent. I mean, I guess to this day, and maybe we'll debate, like people still debate what exactly the motivation to go into Iraq or what exactly, led to all of these wars or what the components were. But the thing that everybody kind of just knows is that the Bush administration had a bunch of war-hungry people in their ranks and that they used 9/11 essentially as an opportunity to cash this blank check for war. And I do think, and I've tried to express this many times because I do think it's like fair to be as charitable as possible. I think they believed in the hype. Like, I think that they believed like these were, like when they said it'll be a cakewalk, I think that's what they envisioned. Like that it was like, I don't know, this, again, they still had 90s mentality. Yeah. They were looking at the war in Serbia or the, the interventions in the Balkans, or they were, and going, this will be easy. Look at the 91 war in Iraq. We could just go overthrow Saddam. We can the Soviet Union's gone. We could topple all these countries. But what it ended up being, I mean, is just like, the greatest catastrophe of the 21st century.
Oh,
There's millions of people slaughtered, tens of millions of people displaced or injured, and and every last one of the countries, every theater worse off than it was before.
Yeah, I'm
was
sorry, Dave. I
intentional,
think
though.
you're wrong about that. Yeah, I think they saw
They
Vietnam.
thought
I think they saw that shit. I think they saw their own definitions of what the war on terror actually meant, like on paper, and see that it's a continuous, will last forever thing. And they included Iraq and
Well-
Afghanistan into that war on terror, right?
I
So
think
like
thought it was
they
easy.
knew what they were doing. But
I
they
think when
they
he said
overthrew
he-
Saddam quite easily, right? The following
Right.
results.
Dave said he didn't think they thought it was going to be easy, and it turned out it wasn't easy. I think all
was
of this
easy.
20 years has been I think all of this 20 years has been easy in their plotting and planning.
Yeah. The end result of power vacuums and all that shit, that's predictable. Isn't he the guy that quotes the 7 countries in 5 years? Like, you know, like, come on. Isn't he the guy that knows about PNAC and all this you know, exact environment that would actually allow us to propel ourselves into the fucking Middle East and blow up fucking countries? Come on, we know better. Come on, they know better. They knew already, right? It's
Killed that
not-
many people by accident.
Yeah. Oops, we're in Afghanistan for 20 years. Oops. Like, come on. I don't think it was an accident.
Look,
I think it was on
If
purpose.
we're gonna cause a power vacuum, and then someone gets power that's not gonna agree to our terms, then the power vacuum continues. He's dead.
Well,
Like, they'll just kill him if he's not someone that's gonna play ball with us. Well, we created the power vacuum.
I mean, they'd have someone set up already if they wanted, like, whoever to be the leader of something, right?
Well, I mean, if they wanted a continuous power vacuum because it just causes chaos and it fucking kills people to not have a power, they could look at that as like, that's good reduction too.
I mean, I'm sorry. I just look at things where it's like, oops, we accidentally created like an entire city within Iraq called the Green Zone. We accidentally made an entire city essentially for U.S. personnel. Oops. Unforeseen consequence. We built a city there. From the mercenaries to the businesses, the Halliburton stuff. Like, oops. I mean, I know Dick Cheney's connected to Halliburton and shit like that, but like, we thought we were just gonna go in, fuck it up, and leave. But oops, we had to use Halliburton, man. Unforeseen consequences. Get the fuck out of here, bro. That's a child's. Once again, not confirming what I'm saying at all as saying like this is the truth. But if you don't have that question in mind and just say like, well, you know, they thought he'd run him over and then boom, done. Come on. That's a little bit too much. That's a little bit too much. I don't think it's so much unforeseen consequences as much as take advantage of every little event that happens from this little Kickstarter right here. Take advantage of it. Use it in some form or fashion. From, like you said, TSA to random shack, random village in the fucking Middle East and in Iraq somewhere. Let's take advantage of that too. If we can. I'm sure there's a lot of hungry intel agents out there, you know, at the time period, looking to have a, you know, some sort of crack scheme to get something done for the U.S., for U.S. interests, quote unquote. Like, come on. But anyways, let's hear Dilbert and Fuckface's response.
You know, and
mediocre
every
Dave
last
Smith.
one of the countries, every theater, worse off than it was before.
And it's really interesting to see the impact that has had on America, because it's had an impact in the UK, but it hasn't had as visceral an impact as it has in the US amongst our generation and to the Tucker's
migrants
generation as well. Like, I look at Tucker
from
and his
the Middle East.
anti-interventionist stance, and I think a lot of it, and Constance and I talk about this all the time, we think that a lot of it comes from the fact that, you know, if you are pro-war and pro-intervention, then you see something go so horrifically wrong, so terribly wrong. And it's not just the millions of people that die. It's also the servicemen that come back who believed in an idea, let's be fair, they had their lives completely ruined. And the number of them that then went on to commit suicide or develop drug problems, alcohol problems, that would, if I was gung-ho, which I wasn't, but if I was, that would really make me look at myself in a very deep and profound way.
Well, I think that's completely true, and I think Tucker.
These guys, I just can't stand these guys, bro. I can't stand them, bro. Like, he's very loud right now, right? Because Iraq war bad. I want to hear some other topics to find out if they're falling for the same exact scenario, just different time period and maybe different countries involved. I'm curious, aren't you?
Yeah, I want him to, in his head, I want him to like experience his thought process of this war, and he understands the whole soldiers, veterans come back, something like 22 a day commit suicide, that kind of statistic for America. Dilbert knowing that, and they're all drinking like heavily because they're dealing with what they fucking did over there. Apply that to a war that you support, a specific war you support you just haven't mentioned yet in this video.
Oh, they will.
Dilbert.
They will. But, like, yes, like the kind of selective nature of it. And let's be honest, in 2025, it's actually okay to be against the Iraq war. If this was 2005, then maybe you get some credit for that, right? But 2025, even Dinesh D'Souza is saying, "Yeah, I made a mistake about the Iraq war," but then says, "But we do need to fuck up Gaza, though. We need to fuck them up in the same breath, bro. Like, come on, we're not stupid."
I'm getting these YouTube AI commercials that are fucking telling me, and it's showing like a Chinese lady. If you saw a Jewish kid getting beat up in the middle of Brooklyn, what would you do? And it's showing me a Chinese lady, and then it flashes over to a black guy. It's just fucking weird, dude.
What fucking ads are you getting, bro? What the fuck
Bro,
is that?
and then the same voice, I'm also hearing ads saying, "We're gonna have peace in Gaza. It just requires Hamas to disarm." It's just an AI fucking voice. And we're like, what the fuck is happening, dude?
I get AI voice commercials, but they're selling me like flashlight, like tactical flashlights. Fucking, like weird random, like kooky invention things or whatever. Yeah.
So the original commercial was, what would you do if you saw a Jewish kid getting picked on? 1/3 of Jews in America are getting picked on, and it's showing a black guy. Like, are you implying it's the black guy that's picking on the Jews? What are we saying here?
I've seen the one commercial with a guy. He's like washing his car, and then you see it cuts to like a mom and her kid. Like, "Oh, don't look, honey." They start like kind of speed walking towards the car, and then the guy looks back. He sees like a swastika on their garage door. He's like, "Motherfucker." He's like,
and then
like Clint Eastwood in Gran Turismo or Gran Torino. He's just like, "Motherfucker."
and like it flashed over to like a 55-year-old, maybe 60-year-old Chinese grandma, like washing her clothes in a bowl in an alley. It's like, what the fuck?
Does this make you cry?
Is she picking on the Jews? Is she picking on the Jews?
Bless it. But yeah. I've gotten more of like an IDF sponsored, like not AI. Well, maybe it's AI, but a little bit more direct with their language of.
It's not a fake AI voice.
Terrorists.
It's a decent voice, but you can tell it's AI.
Yeah. Just planning like YouTube looks like Rumble now with their ads sometimes. It's fucking embarrassing, but either way, let's continue with this. Actually. So I'm less so looking at them agreeing and more so looking for disagreements. Public now vote for free things, and we can't. This would be so much easier live, where people are gonna be like, "Hey, let's pick this topic or that topic." It'd be so much easier, which I might do at some point. I do some live streams at some point. The public now vote for free things, and we can't reduce our deficits. Oh, God. Slop. Okay, should we be getting involved with Iran? Which goes right into what should Israel have done after October 7th. Okay. They actually put debate in parentheses there. Start. Let's go here. Here we go. Like, I'm tired of these fools like trying to look good about because we don't like Iraq war stuff. Got it. Here we go.
I think the danger was, Dave, is that with Iran, when they use rhetoric like we want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, you know that they are funding terror cells. There is the suspicion that they've got nuclear weapons. If you say those types of words and you, let's say you don't get involved and something awful happens, that's going to destabilize the world, whatever. Whatever happens, that's going to start a war.
Well, I don't think anyone's speculating that Iran has nuclear weapons. I don't think there's any.
Well, they're on the point of.
What? What? I don't think anyone's speculating that Iran has nuclear weapons. What? That's Alex Jones, is it not? Maybe he meant Israel. Like, there's no disputing that Israel has fucking nuclear weapons, right? Now, Iran might have nuclear weapons, right? They might, but nothing has substantiated that at all. The most we've heard is what? The 60% enrichment, right? Did I hear him wrong? I might be tripping. Maybe I heard him wrong.
Stabilize the world, whatever. Whatever happens, that's going to start a war.
Well, I don't think anyone's speculating that Iran has nuclear weapons.
Okay. I read that wrong. I think he means, like, no one's saying they have nuclear weapons, right? Okay, I jumped the gun. My bad. Here we go.
That's going to start a war.
Well, I don't think anyone's speculating that Iran has nuclear weapons. I don't think there's any.
Well, they're on the point of maybe getting nuclear weapons, which is why the strike happened.
Thank God.
I guess I think that
almost slipped out.
They chant mean things is not good, but that's also not a justification for a war, or it's nowhere even approaching a justification for a war. And I do think,
but it goes beyond chanting mean things, Dave.
Okay, but that is what you brought up. So I'm saying, like, look. I think when people look at these things, like in the same way that if you were looking at a trial, you don't just look at what the prosecution says, you look at what the defense says also. Even if it's a really, really bad person, you still look at what the defense says as well. If you talk to people, I've talked to several Iranians about this, but if you ask Iran, why do they hate America? Why do they hate America? What do you think the most common answers are? Like what? Because it's very clear. There's two that are really big that come up all the time, and it's not the same reasons why the Bin Ladenites hated us.
Subjugation is number one.
The two big beefs they have is that we overthrew their government in 1953 and imposed the Shah on them, and the other one is that we backed Saddam Hussein when he did the worst thing he's ever done, which was launch the Iraq-Iran war. He killed 500,000 Iranians and used chemical weapons and all types of horrible things. Yes, they chant mean things about us. We could also look at the rhetoric out of DC and out of Tel Aviv, not too friendly toward Iran either. You know, we put them on the axis of evil after 9/11, invaded and destroyed the two countries that touched them, right? Iraq and Afghanistan. And they were on the axis. Now, so it's just kind of weird to hear Americans or Brits talk about their rhetoric and what a threat they are to the Western world. It's like, hey, there's been a lot. John McCain was singing bomb, bomb, bomb Iran when he was running for president. Hillary Clinton, you talk about threatening to wipe them off the map. What were her exact words, if you remember? It was something, and she had to like overcompensate being like a woman running for president. And I forget her exact words, but it was something we will totally eradicate, totally decimate Iran, or all of these things.
Well, the question was, if Iran were to launch a nuclear attack on Israel, what would our response be? And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program, in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran,
whatever stage, Syria,
because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
And we actually have.
Is Triggernometry doing a good job with their video? Maybe they saw the marketing. They're like, okay, we got to change our fucking tune. Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
No, they can show a Democrat saying that. They can't show a Republican saying that.
They're
Just wait
fucking
till they
Brits,
speak.
bro.
Wait till they speak.
Well, that's the thing I'm waiting for, which is the counter response. Because once again, like in the midst of all of that, we all recognize that Israel has nuclear weapons. Right? Even Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible acknowledged that Israel has fucking nuclear weapons, right? So it's like, but what if they shoot a nuke at Iran? What would happen then? I bet in 2008 or whenever that was, I think it was 2008. I bet Hillary would be like, Israel doesn't have any nukes. What are you talking about? Never heard of that. Nuke who? Nuke what? It's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. The fuck? But, all right. Actually, they're actually adding some context into the statements. Okay. They're being fair to Dave. Let's see where they go, though. Here we go.
Hold your tongue. Hold your fucking tongue, man.
I'm being fair for the time span I've watched so far, okay? I react in real time. I've not watched this before. If I hear something off, I jump at it. If I hear something right, I jump at whatever the fuck I'm hearing. But I leave room for different possibilities to happen later on. So let's see where they go. Here we go.
The might to do it, and we've attacked them. They haven't attacked us. So again, I would just say that zooming out to the bigger picture, yes, Iran funds groups that are a pain in the ass to Israel. That is certainly true. And there's a big...
It's more than a pain in the ass.
You gotta say it.
Let's be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that was a
October
euphemism,
the 7th,
obviously, yes.
Yeah, but October the 7th is more than a pain in the ass.
Okay, fine. But I'm saying Iran has historically funded Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. They've sold arms. And it's like, okay. But like, actually, Iran is zero threat to the United States of America. They do not...
That's when you bring up Israel also funded Hamas, but all right.
Have nuclear weapons. They do not have the capability to hit America if they did have those nuclear weapons. And the idea of launching a war of choice, a war of aggression, because you say they chant mean things, and what if we didn't do anything and then something bad happens? I just think you're nowhere near the realm of like a just war.
They had that with Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Arabia, 9/11. Bin Laden, 9/11. Right? These characters that are out there that the U.S. has notoriously funded or built up at some point in time. Yeah, but you can see the handprint of the U.S. on top of it. Is it only the U.S.'s fault? No. Right? And I don't mean the U.S. is like the people. It's definitely not the people. I mean like the government motherfuckers, the military-industrial complex, all that fucking bullshit, right? Along with other nations. Like, come on. Like, no one's looking for an actual culprit. They're using whatever happens as an excuse to do other shit that they were already wanted to do in the first place. That's what it looks like to me. But here's Dilbert and Fuckface's response. Here we go.
I totally agree with, but that isn't remotely what's happened here. No one's launched a war on Iran,
come on.
War on Iran.
Israel and the U.S. just did. They call it the 12-day war.
So what happened is, and this is, I think it's useful to come back to October 7th. October 7th happened.
Anyone? What the fuck?
You're right. Fuckface opened his mouth. That's what happened.
What? It's like no one said anything to Iran.
Yeah, he's waiting on.
Give them a chance to talk, and you.
Dave's like, we just launched it. Exactly. Like, but we just launched there was a 12-day war that the U.S. and Israel were both a part of. They launched it against Iran.
He's like, hold on.
October 7th.
Hold on. He's like, hold on. Wait a second. October 7th happened.
That's Iran attacking Israel first.
It'd be like me saying Pearl Harbor happened, and then for some reason we attacked Sweden, and it's their fault. Pearl Harbor happened.
Yeah, we invaded Guam because Pearl Harbor happened.
Listen, they were trading rice with the Japanese, and that allowed them to attack our shores. That's the excuse. We traded rice with them. We traded sushi with them and PlayStations. So we had. So you guys are culpable for what Japan did. Got it.
Is he gonna be like? Okay, so I guess an honest way to kind of address him bringing up October 7th is the accusation that Hamas is funded by Iran, but it's also funded by Israel.
That's the other point. Yeah, that's probably where Fuckface is going to go. And Dave has the obvious counter of, well, wasn't there millions sent to Hamas through Qatar that came from Israel? No, that was Qatar by themselves.
Well, that's why we attacked Qatar. That's why we helped Israel attack Qatar, for accepting their money transfers to the person they wanted to receive their money.
Oh, yeah, this all makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It's all brilliant. God bless America. All right, here we go.
No one's launched a war on Iran, a preemptive war on Iran.
What Israel and the U.S. just did. They call it the 12-day war.
So what happened is, and this is, I think it's useful to come back to October 7th. October 7th happened, and then it became very clear that Iran has been funding the organizations that have been attacking Israel this entire time. Now, you may agree.
October 7th is not the start of history, by the way. Here we go.
Disagree about Israel being an ally, should be an ally or not of the United States, but Israel is an ally of the United States. So,
oh, by the way, and that wasn't Israel's or the U.S.'s excuse for attacking Iran. It was about their uranium enrichment, strictly.
Yeah, they mentioned they mentioned that after Israel attacked them. Mark Levin and them started saying that.
Yeah.
After.
They were selling neocon talking points in Trump's first administration about, oh, look, Iran, because Obama made this deal with Iran, they're using this money to fund terrorist groups around the globe, essentially, right? They use that excuse, and they probably but they didn't even bother really come back to it, officially, right? Like when they attacked, when Israel attacked Iran, and eventually the U.S. attacked Iran, that wasn't being brought up. It was strictly about their nuclear weapons program, which, according to most experts I've heard, is not actually in existence. Only the threat of it, maybe. So, once again, fuckface liar. Dave's okay with liars, apparently, because he gets he debates a lot of these guys that are blatant, full-blown fucking liars. Propagandist liars. And Dave's like, oh, man, you want to get some lunch after this? Is that your main goal here, Dave? To look like you won the debate, but still be best friends with these guys and go get lunch with them. It's okay being friends with someone, that's fine. But to curtail your own fucking assessments when someone's clearly fucking lying in front of you and selling you talking points from the fucking State Department of whatever country, how do you sit there and just accept that? It's brain rot, off rip. And guess what? A lot of Dave fans accept it too, which is one of my biggest problems. These guys are like, yeah, but Dave won, though. Oh, what did Dave win? What did you win? What did you get out of this? The same fucking points you've heard 10 million times from Dave Smith, but the fucking Clean Break Act? Is that what you won? Or does it boost up your favorite guy? That's my favorite guy, man. My favorite guy won, see? We're all better off now. But Dave can't point out a fucking liar when someone's lying right to his face, lying directly to him. He might wait to go on Twitter later and be like, hey, these guys are liars. When no one's fucking watching, Dave. You dummy. Let's continue. Here we go.
Or not of the United States, but Israel is an ally of the United States. So to the extent that, and we had Yossi Cohen, the former Mossad, on the show to talk about the nuclear secrets they stole from Iran, which then they gave to the United Nations and everybody else to see for themselves. I mean, it's very clear Iran would like to have a nuclear weapon. And by the way, when we asked Yossi why do they want one, he said because it allows them to project power in the region, which is why anyone wants a nuclear weapon, right? I think
also the deterrent. And it's not even clear to me that they wanted a nuclear weapon. And forgive me, I'm not taking Mossad's word for it that they do. It seems
it's not taking their word; it's the documents they stole.
Well, sure, but they were very clearly So after 9/11, right? Bush puts the axis of evil of Iraq, Iran, and North Korea. Okay, so North Korea races to get a nuke. They get nuclear weapons. We've left them alone ever since. Saddam Hussein in 2002, tells the UN, I'll allow inspections regimes to come in, kind of waving the white flag, where the Gaddafi later does the same thing. We'll get rid of our chemical weapons program, we'll get rid of our nuclear program, all of this. We go in and topple both of those guys, and they get killed publicly. Iran goes the middle, So like North Korea developed nuclear weapons, those other countries got rid of all their weapons. Iran went, hey, we're gonna hang out here. We're gonna let the world know that we've mastered the fuel cycle. We can break out and get a weapon if we want to, but we're not doing that yet. A kind of standoff of like, don't attack us because we could make a nuke, but we don't want to make it. But this kind of this vague game. But it's a latent deterrent. That's the idea here. And then they can negotiate from there. And that's where they were sitting down to negotiate, like what level of enriched uranium they would be at. So essentially, I guess the point is that
Trump.
It's hard to then look at them and go, this is very suspicious that you haven't gotten rid of your entire nuclear program. It's like, well, the last guys who got rid of their nuclear program ended up sodomized to death in front of an angry crowd of people.
Well,
Dave, do not leave this point. Make them come back and answer. If they try to go somewhere else, they try to walk across the street, corner them and say, no, go back over here. We're staying here until you fucking answer these. Because you have to do those things. You have to dig deeper into the stories to showcase that someone's being full of shit or actually listening to what you're saying. If you're dealing with two people that are only strictly thinking about how do I counter this to make, Iran look bad or something like that, or make U.S. policy look so good, then you're dealing with liars. Capital L liars, Dave. That's why you have to pull them back over in a certain area. My bad, go ahead.
They're about to tell us that we had nothing to do with Libya.
Can't say they're UK. They can't say us. You have to say the U.S. had nothing to do with Libya, which would be bullshit.
That's what they're about to do. They're gonna say that was a revolution.
Oh, come on. We
they're
blatantly bombed them. There's no way around that. There's no way around it. We blatantly bombed them. All right, here we go.
Country that got nukes gets left alone.
I totally agree with that, which is one of the reasons I actually believe that if the US and Europe doesn't help Ukraine have a peaceful solution,
don't be lured to sleep, Dave.
Pull
him back to it.
Because if no one else is going to protect you, you might as well get a nuke. Like if Ukraine had nukes, it wouldn't have been invaded, right?
Yeah, probably not.
This is why one of my concerns about allowing these things to get out of hand is actually it helps nuclear proliferation. But the point about October 7th, and which is why this is important, is ultimately you and I can agree, and Francis, I'm sure, does too, the war in Iraq was a mistake. Lots of mistakes have been made on foreign policy.
Mistakes, oops.
The question is, what do you do when you are in the situation when October 7th has happened, right? And this is we've had people who have different perspectives on this conflict, as you know. Bassem Youssef was one of them. And I asked him what I think is a very legitimate question, is like, what should Israel have done? Forget about the occupation, let's accept all
of that has happened already.
All of that has already happened. Let's accept it. And I don't want to argue about it. I don't want to go into history because everyone's got their own arguments and blah, 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 blah. But it's happened.
No, because you can't win. Okay.
What should Israel have done? And we were just on Rogan's show, and I think Rogan agrees way more with you than he does with us about this. But he was like, yeah, if this happened to America, we'd be as bad, if not worse.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't even think I believe that.
Well, I don't get his question. Is he saying what should have happened with Iran because of October 7th? Or is he just blatantly getting into what should Israel have done about Gaza?
What should Israel have done after October 7th happens, right? And
in regards to Iran?
He wants to skip over all the context of how these things happen in the first place. And honest to God, the actual counter response to this, not in regards to Iran, but like the counter response to this would be, well, what is Hamas supposed to do on October 6th? Right? It's like the same, like it has to be put in that, like if you leave that out, you're kind of getting a dumb fuck answer. It's taking everything for granted and saying, well, okay, history started right here. Right? He's basically saying that. Like, my question is, get rid of all the history, forget about that, and just start from October 7th. What should Israel have done? They got attacked. It's like, well, there's context of why they were attacked. There's a whole context of why that happened, right? And like, once again, hold on, real quick.
Asking.
Well, yes, I think he is asking that. But once again, it begged the question, like, well, what should Hamas do on October 6th? When they are being subjugated and occupied, all that shit. What do you expect them to do? Now, That's not justifying October 7th and what those fucking guys did with it. But, like, what do you expect's gonna happen? Duh. But he wants to throw all that in the fucking trash can and go strictly with, what should Israel do about this? Come on. They got attacked. Like, which is just a lame-brained fucking question. It's lame-brained. It's meant to trap Dave, most likely. Or to make him, like, stumble his words or fuck up or sound stupid. But it's like, you can't erase that. You can't erase what happened already. The fuck? Like, come on. All right. Here we go with this lame dick fucking question. Here we go.
We were just on Rogan's show, and I think Rogan agrees way more with you than he does with us about this. But he was like, yeah, if this happened to America, we'd be as bad, if not worse.
Which means nothing in regards to righteousness.
You know, we could get into that. But let me just say, I'll say this first, and then I will very directly answer your question. But first, I will say, I don't think it's like, I get what Bassem was saying to you about that too. Like, I understand the argument of being like I could say the example I made at that Charlie Kirk event, with the now infamous Charlie Kirk event. But the comments that I made was like, hey, look, if you're pro-life, it's not like incumbent on you to have a plan for the baby's education or daycare or something like that. Like, you could just say, I'm against this option because I find this morally unacceptable. And then you figure it out for the rest. So, like, my point is, like, you can't just oppose what Israel did to Gaza and not have to come up with a solution. But I think it's also a fair question to ask. Well, I think it's fine to say this is morally over the line.
No, not really, because ultimately they have to do something.
Okay, well, fine. But no, I mean,
We've all seen what's happened in Gaza. We have to do something. Is that the first option? What happened over there? And it's still happening, by the way? Is that the number one option? You gotta do something. What babies do you blow up? You gotta pick and choose. Which babies do we kill? Even the U.S. invasion of Iraq was different than this shit, bro. Like, on paper, way less indiscriminate than what they're doing over there and have been doing over there. Even before October 7th, bro, they were doing this already, you fucking propagandists. I wanted to call him dumb right there, but he's actually full of shit. Like, this guy has a motive behind it. I have to, like, I'm sorry. That's what I believe about this guy. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm smelling from this fucking dude, from fuckface Constantine. Dave can't tell because he's a little fucking ditz that thinks everyone's his fucking friend, and they lie right to his face, try to put him in corners to trick him and shit. But I won though, right? I won. I won, right, guys? I won. My infamous debate with Josh Hammer, I won, right? I won. Congratulations, Dave. You have a couple more thousand followers. When Dave wins, we all win. New slogan. Here we go.
Also, saying that, I also think it's an interesting question
and
kind of a thought experiment. So I can go to October 8th. I can't change anything that's happened before that. I have to inherit that world. And then what would we do after October 8th? Well, look, I mean, I do think first and foremost, I think Netanyahu should have resigned in disgrace. I mean, Netanyahu's entire political career has been very openly built around thwarting the establishment of a Palestinian state.
Forget about Netanyahu.
No, but this isn't, you're asking.
Leave baby alone. Leave him alone.
The question,
I'm not asking what Netanyahu, I'm saying what should Israel have done?
Right, well, he's the prime minister of Israel, so this is part of it.
Fine, Netanyahu resigned.
Look, also just the fact that
Dave Smith is now appointed prime minister of Israel following Netanyahu's resignation.
But look, I mean,
what does Dave Smith do?
Well, sure, but I'm just saying, I mean, also the fact that it was his whole plan to prop up Hamas and keep them in power. That should be enough that you get out of the way now.
Fine.
First off, there should be a real investigation, man. And this is, I mean, this is something that still to this day,
I like that answer.
Of course, look, obviously there's a million clips of Charlie Kirk saying how much he loves Israel, and then there's other clips and they're all circulating. But his first reaction on the Patrick Bet David podcast, which he did he said that again later at speeches and stuff, was like, it is kind of bizarre that, and I've talked to like military experts who have said the exact same thing. And they've been like, look, there is something, and I'm not alleging anything. I don't know, I'm not.
This is where they want him to go, but I'm not mad at this. But this is where they wanted him to go. They wanted him to go to questioning the events of October 7th. Because it allows them to have counterpoints or answer, the paint things a certain way. It gives them room to do so. Right? Not saying I'm mad, like, I think it should be questioned, 100%. Right? But, you know where that leads to, where they want to already paint you as a kind of a crackpot. That's like kind of a leading question in a way, but Dave's a ditz, and either way, I'm not mad at him for bringing this up. It should be brought up. I really do believe that. But here we go.
Saying it was a false flag or something like that. I don't think that's the case.
So what do you think it is? What is it that you think an investigation will uncover?
Well, I mean, the massive intelligence failure, how the most surveilled area of the world got into the biggest fortress in the world, and there was such a long delay in areas of a response. I mean, that really should, like...
But what do you think that likely points to?
I really don't know.
Because everyone we've spoken to goes... we've spoken to former soldiers, people who've served in the IDF, all kinds of people like that, and they basically say, look, we messed up on a whole set of levels. The intelligence people like Yossi blame the IDF blames someone else. And that tends to be how these things go down, really. But I also, with all respect, do get the sense that quite a lot of people that talk about, well, why did it take them 6 hours to do this and that? I mean, we've had former British paratrooper on the show goes, well, look, in the UK, we've got, I don't remember the exact stats, but we've got like X thousand soldiers who are like on prime active duty. But that's a 24-hour call-up situation. Right. We don't have, thousands of people on a 1-hour response time. When they're in the barracks, they just pick up a rifle and head to the front line. So I think there's some pretty reasonable explanations for how that could have happened.
Quite possibly.
But what I get, with all respect, is that quite a lot of people who ask the question seem to be implying something, but they never say what it is that they're implying.
No, I mean, well, Charlie asked the question, was there a stand-down order? I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but it does seem to me something really worthy of investigation and really getting to the bottom of that.
Netanyahu did say this when we interviewed him, right?
What?
The investigation is super necessary once the war's over.
Yeah, right. Once the war's over. Okay, fine.
But you can't have an investigation in the middle of a war.
I
Especially
guess.
to your point with the person who oversaw the...
I'm not sure why can't you have an investigation of the bomb in Gaza? Because why do the bombs have to stop dropping before we can look into that?
Because they're running a war effort. Imagine being investigated while you're trying to manage a war. That doesn't work, right?
I guess.
That does work. That does work.
You can't hold me credible while I'm killing people. You must wait till I'm done killing people before you hold me credible.
Yeah, you can't question if we lied about weapons of mass destruction until after I'm done, doing the action that was justified by weapons of mass destruction.
You can't arrest Jeffrey Dahmer until he's done doing what Jeffrey Dahmer is known for doing.
Yeah, maybe he was like maybe saving lives. Maybe he was like capturing bad guys, Maybe he was saving lives.
Right.
But you don't know until he's done.
Can't stop him. Can't stop him before he's done making his bombs.
And this is like obviously in my opinion, the trap that they were setting up for Dave to run into. And here's Dave. Here we go.
Anyway. I don't exactly understand that, but maybe.
Do you know?
Well, I don't know. No, I mean, I think.
Imagine you run a podcast, which is a lot easier than running a war, right?
Well, sometimes it feels like it. Yeah,
right. But imagine you were under the greatest scrutiny in America, being investigated by every fucking department.
This is actually how I feel when I'm running my podcast. You're not far off.
Well, you got to stop smoking weed then, because it's not that bad, right?
Fair enough.
But imagine you are being investigated by every department, and if you are found to have been responsible for a mistake that you made on your podcast, or someone that works for you made a mistake that then you have to cop the blame for, you get the electric chair. Would that affect your ability to run a podcast? I would say yes.
Yeah, I guess so. But then at the same time, it's like, it's also an awfully convenient thing to be able to say, I'll prosecute this war. And as soon as I'm done prosecuting the war, then you can start investigating me. And there's an incentive there to keep the thing going,
of course.
right?
I don't think anyone who is in any way blamable for October 7th is desperate for that investigation to come as quickly as possible. I totally agree with you, of course. But let's come back.
So back to the
Netanyahu's resigned in disgrace. Dave Smith is Prime Minister of Israel.
Well, look, I would say that I think there are, again, like, even with like what you're talking about with Rogan, and where I think people will go like, well, imagine Mexico attacked America in this way. Like, what would we do to Mexico? But I also do think that like there's a really fundamental difference between Gazans attacking Israel and Mexico attacking America. Because Mexico, although obviously there's a huge power discrepancy between our two governments, they are a government with a military and some degree of sovereignty. and it's much more like a Native American reservation.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
A Native American reservation where we never gave the Native American citizenship. And it's not a Native American reservation the way American Native American reservations are, where they can come and go as freely as they please. And it's just not we never gave the Native American citizenship. We still hold them on these reservations. We've had a blockade around this reservation and an occupation going back 60 years. No, in that scenario, I would not find it justified for the American military to start carpet bombing the reservation. No, in fact, I think you would have a responsibility to make this a police action. Like, you have to arrest these people. And before Netanyahu, there was a terrorism problem since the creation of the state of Israel, partially the Zionists and partially the Arabs. But throughout the entire history of Israel, it was only Netanyahu who ever treated the terrorism problem as like a problem for the regular old military. It was always targeted assassinations, special operations. Again, Gaza is the most surveilled area in the world. They can wait these guys out. They can touch them. They can target them. Now, again, it might put IDF soldiers at more risk than sometimes. That's a thing that all modern armies accept. That we will increase the risk to our own guys to fight wars in more moral ways than we have in the past. But I think that it should have been, there was just a way to do it that would have, short of like right on October 8th, right away, where they cut the electricity, cut the water, cut all that, just essentially announcing that we're at war with the civilian population. Look, dude, I know me and you we don't see eye to eye on this. I know we're on different sides of this, but just even saying did you see a few weeks ago when the ceasefire deal first starts, right? I'm gonna ask you guys genuinely. So Hamas at one point, where Israel accuses Hamas, let's just say they're right. Hamas is slow rolling, returning the dead remains of some of the hostages. All the living hostages have been returned, but there are remains of dead hostages. And Israel accuses them of slow rolling. Let's even say they were. And so as a response to that, they go, we're halving the aid. Cutting in half the aid that's getting into Gaza.
They cut it
as a
more than
response to Hamas, slow rolling dead remains. Not saying that doesn't mean anything, but dead people are a little bit different than alive people. That you're gonna cut off the aid to women and children because of it's war. Doesn't that on some human level, don't you guys go, yeah, that's wrong? You shouldn't.
Yes, Dave. That's the question I want, and don't fucking leave it. Do not leave that question, Dave. Stay right. Isn't that wrong? Don't fucking leave that, Dave. Stay right there with that question. Isn't that wrong, guys? Doesn't that fucking bother you? Come on. That's perfect, Dave. That's all I've ever asked from Dave Smith. Ask questions like that and keep it there. Do not let them scurry away. Make them stay there. You already know they're uncomfortable.
How do you think they will?
They're going to try to scurry away.
How do you think they will?
I think they're going to scurry away.
How
and
do you think they will?
The security risk, blah, 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 something like that. Something with security, or, he may actually, a few weeks earlier, Hamas did this. Right? It could be, he might bring up the two soldiers that ran over an old IED, or possibly undetonated ordnance, right? And say, look what Hamas said.
I know what he's gonna do. I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna say, all right, you understand that Hamas killed and raped 1,200 people on October 7th, right?
Nah, that's way too. He can't even do it on his own program. That's way too politician sounding. His best wiggle room out of here is to just accept it. Listen, I agree. There were mistakes have been made, but they're under duress.
Oh yeah, mistakes.
But I'm saying, I don't care what his answer
is.
If he says mistakes, drag him right back here. Drag him right back to the same question he asked.
Mistake. It was a mistake to turn off a valve.
But hey, man, is it a mistake, or is it wrong? Morally wrong, and drag him right back to where you were, and don't let him run away. I'm playing that again. I'm actually proud of Dave Smith for that one. Hey guys, just I'm asking you guys as people, isn't that wrong? It's I want to hear their answer, and I love the way Dave put that. Pause. Stay there, Dave. Drag them back there if they try to scurry away. I beg you to. Their little squirrel legs. Drag them right the fuck back there. Here we go.
We're halving the aid. Cutting in half the aid that's getting into Gaza. As a response to Hamas slow rolling dead remains. Not saying that doesn't mean anything, but like dead people are a little bit different than alive people.
Mm-hmm.
That you're gonna cut off the aid to women and children because of like it's war. Doesn't that like on some human level? Don't you guys go, yeah, that's wrong. Like you shouldn't punish the civilian population like that.
Well, when we launched our first bit of Triggernometry,
These little cretins, bro. Oh my god, these little weirdos.
What?
These little
fucking. If I had some dice, I would not have rolled. We're gonna do a commercial break at this fucking perfect time to take a commercial break.
Oh my dear lord, that is so like. Come on, is that me reaching if I say that's
the end of it?
No, that's not the end of it.
Is that?
If they switch topics right now, I'm gonna freak out. But okay, am I reaching if I say like, yo, that was done on purpose? Let's put an ad right here.
Oh no, that's fucking yeah.
Am I reaching for that? I don't know.
No, you're not reaching at all. But I was not rolling the dice.
I didn't see that either.
Commercial time. Time for commercial time.
I did not see that coming either. But all right,
makes sense though.
Yeah, it does.
These
characters. These characters.
They can now address it after the commercial. Maybe half their audience forgot what they asked before the commercial.
A little bit of levity for the audience. Got it. Okay. I'll roll. All right. Let's see where they go. Let's see if Dave drags them back, which I just, here we go.
Code trigger.
The issue is that the police action thing is really what this is all about, right? Because if you see this as a war, I mean, historically speaking, no country at war is required to provide aid to enemy civilians. That has never happened.
Well, it's not a matter of being required to provide it. It's a matter of blocking the aid that international organizations are trying to get through.
But whenever any country has been at war, this really hasn't been a concern of theirs ever. And Israel is doing way more than any country at war has done on.
We're in aren't we in ceasefire territory? Drag him back, Dave. Drag him kicking and screaming. Like, he asked him a human question. Like, isn't that wrong? Well, it's that war. He gave you the Douglas Murray fucking answer. Drag him back. Kicking and screaming. Please.
Hold on. He would also, with the Ukraine thing, argue the opposite. Like, this dude's pro-Ukraine. Not Dave Smith, the other guy. So he's like, yeah, we're going to supply Ukraine with all this aid. Don't you dare get in the way of this, Russia. Russia's multiple times threatened to what is the fucking country starts with a P? That's right next door.
Let's
Poland. So no, like,
let's not give our audience, not give the fans of these guys a way out. We're staying right here. Hey man, is that wrong? Let's stay there. Isn't that wrong? His answer was Douglas Murray's. That's just war. That's war. Aren't we in ceasefire territory? Didn't they get the aid in the first place because Hamas gave back the hostages? What was the context Dave brought up? Hey, they haven't returned the deceased yet fast enough. So thus we cut off aid, and in fact it's been cut below halfway, by the way. But Dave went with the simple answer of they cut it in half after they couldn't find the dead bodies fast enough. Right, because they didn't have the equipment to do so, right? It's like, yo, stay there. His answer to you is like, that's just war. That's war. Duh. But Israel had a reason for it. They said they didn't get their deceased fast enough. Is that just war? Okay.
Well, if it's just war, October 7th is fine.
Oh my God, exactly. By their logic, that's fine.
Yeah, like Hamas had every right to do it.
And if you bring up events where Israel has bombed Gaza before October 7th, they'll say like, well, those guys were firing rockets. It's justified. Right. And Dave Smith, you have to lock the fuck in.
War's war.
Dave Smith. Lock the fuck in,
There's
Dave.
no rules to war.
Drag him back to the moral questions where he has no fucking wiggle room. Drag him right back to the moral question again. Bring him right back to it. because they're at war. This kind of pseudo-intellectual, logical answer. It's not even logical. It's pseudo-intellectual. Drag them right back there. Here we go.
Organizations are trying to get through.
But whenever any country has been at war, this really hasn't been a concern. But when
I see the look on Dave's face, and he's like, "Well, I'm in front of liars again. What are you gonna do about it, Dave? What are you gonna do about it? Let's find out."
Whenever any country has been at war, this really hasn't been a concern of theirs ever. And Israel is doing way more than any country at war has done on this front. But it doesn't matter. I don't defend Israel. I don't say that everything they've done is right. I don't think they've done it the way that I would have done it. You are really not going to like the way I would have done it. But what I'm trying to find out from you is, you say police action, and that's we had this debate, but not face-to-face, where we exchanged videos on this, right? And we talked about Native American reservation, and you say police action. You've got 50,000 jihadi terrorists. Jihadi as in willing to die for the cause. Is that fair? You shake your head.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think that I don't.
Dave, you dragged him down to the human level, and he ran for his life. Drag him back to the human level of things. But yo, they didn't return the dead bodies fast enough, so now you're gonna cut off their aid? And it's not even from Hamas, it's from the fucking civilians. It's a war on civilians, blatantly. And what does he do? They run a commercial, and he tries to twist the fucking topic to something else. Drag him right back, Dave. Say, we're not leaving this. Until you showcase look into the fucking camera and say, hey guys, I'm a fucking devil worshiper. I'm not leaving this topic till you fucking admit it. Otherwise, sorry. Why would I sit down and spend hours with I mean, I would, personally. But I'd spend hours, like, saying, let's go back to this topic over here. But why would I, like, leave that thing to go engage in his turf from a fucking liar? As a liar. Blatantly a liar. In your face a liar. Dave fucking knows it. Look, when he sipped that fucking water, you could tell he's like, fucking Christ, this guy's again? I can't believe you're all like this. Fucking hell. He had the same fucking look on his face right there that he had with Douglas Murray. When he said, yo, they're massacring people. It's not massacring, it's war. And Dave's like, all right, man. And Dave lost his smile at that moment. Drag them back. Drag them back and watch them run. Watch them try to scamper away in different directions. Like, no, come back here. No, I'm not going anywhere. Come back here. Force them to. Fuck, man. But instead, they might challenge Dave on something else to make him like, hey, Dave, you're kind of dumb on this topic. And Dave's like, no, I'm not. Let me answer about this entire topic now. Meanwhile, like, you left the point where it's like about humanity, about righteousness, about integrity and honor. You left that place to go fucking win a debate somewhere. Don't get dragged, Dave. Pull them back towards you. Christ, man. It's not about that. Like, let the audience see what the fuck these guys will do to escape certain things. Look at them dance to escape certain ideas. Like, isn't that wrong? Like, I'm asking you guys as he said it. Dave said it. I'm asking you as people, as like just regular ass dudes. Like, isn't that wrong? Don't you guys think that's wrong? Well, you know, in war things happen in war, war. Anyways, October 7th. I know. Jordan, stop talking already. Let the fucking video play. I know, because the value's in the video apparently somewhere. Here we go. Let's go find it.
I don't think any of us really know for sure. But yeah, I think the Israeli government was claiming something like that.
Are you disputing the numbers or the jihadism?
See
I
that?
just don't know. I
He's
don't
almost
know what
sweating
the
to pull him
number
away
of
from that topic.
So it's the
number. I just don't know.
It's the number you're unsure about.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the jihadi part. It's the,
no, there are jihadists, obviously.
They are prepared to die.
Yes,
look at that, Dave. Now you're in their world agreeing with them. Got it.
Can we say, just so that we do agree, like 40 to 50 or 30 to 50?
Maybe sure.
Let's say
for
40
the sake of argument. Sure.
40 to 50,000 people in a highly geographically concentrated area, tiny area, right?
No, I think the official number, like, according to Israeli numbers, even by their standards, is in the 60 to 70,000 mark. But whatever, right? Shouldn't matter. The main question is like, isn't that wrong? Has he's already conceded, or they edited his shit? Maybe that's the case. Maybe Dave just keeps getting edited over and over and over again. Like I'm sorry, audience, but it's like I can't express how frustrated I am by hearing this shit. It's frustrating. So I think Dave means well on some level, means well. And he lets himself get ran over by mediocre fucking takes. Pulled him right back to the simple guy thing. Simple.
Jordan, you need to move on because they have.
Oh.
You need to move on. Address the next question. The question at hand.
I got it. So, Dave, what's your favorite type of Michael Jordans? Are they 4s, 5s, 11s? You like which one do you like?
Oh yeah.
You know what, Dave? You don't know anything about Michael Jordans, do you? No, I do. I have a couple pairs. I got like 5 or 6 pairs, bro. I love Michael Jordans. Like he gets lost in there, just trying to win something. Here we go.
Tiny area, 50,000 people with pretty sophisticated weaponry, actually. IEDs everywhere, booby traps everywhere, anti-tank missiles, sniper rifles. This is a militarized terrorist organization. Do you really think you can deal with that in a police action?
Well, I think you can certainly deal with it with targeted assassination, special operations, the way Israel's dealt with their terrorism problem for their entire existence. But the point, again, about this is that I think that when if you occupying a country, let's say like after a war, you occupy a country for 6 months or for a couple years or something like that. Israel's been occupying the West Bank and Gaza for longer than the Soviet Union occupied Eastern Europe. It's a 60-year, and at a certain point, you're like, like there was this big thing where they just voted to annex the West Bank when J.D. Vance was there, just to be disrespectful to America. Even though they're our welfare country, they can still disrespect our most. Let's think about.
Yeah. Here's the funny part, Dave, is that he said, like, I don't want to go over the history of all this stuff. Like, let's leave that. We all have agreements and disagreements all over the place. Let's leave it behind. But now he's letting you do it. I wonder why. Because avoid the moral questions.
It's going to be lost in the sauce.
Exactly.
Because it's going to be lost into the sauce.
Let's ignore the thing that Dave just said. He said, as human beings, is this wrong? They couldn't answer it. And Dave let them fucking slide again. Fuck the presentation. Fuck the cameras. Fuck the podcast. Fuck your celebrity. Fuck that shit. Let's go to, by your own standards. Is this right or wrong by your guys' standard?
The most basic of asks from America. Like, could you just not?
I'm almost done with this fucking video, honestly. I don't care if I'm talking over him.
It's already been annexed.
I'm kind of done with this
All
video.
All of this is Israel. Israel's had.
Come back to the police action.
There's an obligation at that point that these people are your people, whether you acknowledge that or not. When you've had control of them for 60 years, you're the sovereign in these areas, then I think...
But how do you police 50,000 armed jihadis? How do you deal with that as a police action? Imagine you had the Native Americans, they were pretty badass boys when you guys first came here.
Oh my God.
Imagine you had 50,000 of them in Manhattan, right? And they just went on a slaughtering and raping and rampage, right? And then you're going,
Well, what you do is you bomb the entire island of New York. Bomb the entire thing. That's what you do. Duh.
No. First, you encage them somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Then you bomb them.
You cut off their water, the electricity, their internet, cut all of it off, and you just bomb the shit out of everything you can say. And if someone asks a question, just say it was Hamas. So we had to bomb them. Hamas was there. Hamas was in the basement.
And then tell them the south side of the cage is a safe zone, and then bomb that too.
Yep. Say, go this way, guys. It's safer over there, and then bomb them as they're moving towards that direction. Duh.
And then bomb that location. You told them exactly where you said this is the point. That is the exact safe spot.
And say, hey, civilians, we're going to make sure you guys get food. Come over here and get some food. And shoot them as they're trying to get food. Totally not a war against civilians at that moment in time, obviously. And it's like, Dave, you're dealing with liars, and you're too fucking pussy for this shit, bro. You're too pussy. Walk the fuck away. Retire, my man. Go do stand-up comedy, man. Go live your life. You made enough money now. You're chilling. Go on Joe Rogan's podcast and talk about fucking comedy and shit like that. Leave politics out of it. You're too pussy for this shit. Walk away. Here we go. But Dave's winning, though. Dave made better points, bro. They brought up the Clean Break Act. What have they brought up, huh? It's not about fucking winning, you idiots. It's too late. We're too late in the game here. It can't be about winning anymore. We already know they're on the losing argument side. Triggernometry, Ben Shapiro, Dinesh D'Souza, whoever the fuck. We already know they're on the losing side of this fucking conflict, of this conversation. We already know that. It's not about making them look bad or winning. It's about making them look wrong. Morally wrong. And as far as I understand, in regards to Dave and the way he asks questions, like that specific question about morality, apparently his morals say this is wrong. So why can't he argue from there? You know what some commenters told me? To, like, yeah, man, you gotta leave morals out of debates. You gotta leave them out. It's not intellectual enough. And look at that. When was Dickface fucking flinching the most? Hey guys, isn't this wrong? And we saw Fuckface fucking flinching like a motherfucker. It's the best strategy and the right thing to do, you dummies. But if it wasn't a good strategy, you still do the right thing anyways, because you're supposed to be the good guys. Not a fucking celebrity talking about it. You're supposed to be the good guy. Next to idiots and liars. Here we go.
Send in the cops.
I'm sure Dave scorched him on Twitter later.
I don't know that there's anyone who thinks that's realistic.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know.
But tell me how that's realistic. I'm open to it.
Well, I'm just saying that, well, look, as I just said, Israel has a long history of targeted assassinations and special ops.
But it's different.
So,
it's different because October 7th is a different level of threat to anything that's ever happened before.
You kept these people occupied for over 60 years. You never gave them citizenship.
We already baked all of that in.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just making the point that whether you think it's logistically difficult to do or not, the truth is that they just destroyed the entire strip.
I don't think it's
and Hamas hasn't been eradicated anyway.
But that's I agree with. But what I'm saying is it's not logistically difficult. I just think it's wishful thinking to imagine that a threat. So here's how I see it, and you tell me where you think I'm wrong.
Sure.
October 7th happens. If you're the Prime Minister of Israel, you shit yourself. You go, fuck, we're being invaded. Our people are being slaughtered. You might also be worried about the.
No, you say this is going to look bad, right? You're not being yeah, exactly. You're not being invaded by guys with fucking limited ammo, limited weapons, and four-wheelers and shit. Like, stop it. You're not. You have sophisticated military shit. They hit a spot in your country. It's terrible and tragic, but guess what? There was zero chance. There was, 0.000 times infinity chance that was going to launch like the downfall of Israel. There's no fucking chance of that being the case. So yeah, it's maybe it's embarrassing for a leader, like, oh fuck, but these guys, hit my blind side and fucking pause and fucking did some action that killed a lot of our people. But as much as Hamas knew, Israel knew that they're going to do that and they're going to run back to their fucking tunnels or wherever and hide away somewhere. They snatched up hostages for leverage. Obvious action they would do. Duh. It's not fucking rocket science. And obviously the response is to bomb the entire fucking place. And this guy's like, oh my god, what do you do though? Well, I wouldn't just bomb the entire fucking area. But then again, I would not have left the fucking original question that Dave asked in the first place. But Dave will, because he's a ditz. Here we go.
Blow back on you. You were in charge. I hear all the things that I think you might say. And then you go, we can't live with this. That's what any president or prime minister of a country that had been invaded in that way would say. We cannot have this on our doorstep. I don't care about history. I don't care who's right, who's wrong. We can't have this, right? The people who did this, the people who funded this, the people who orchestrated this, the people who participated in this, they need to hand themselves in for justice or we're going to kill them all. That's what America would do, right? I think that's a fair claim.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
America would probably, what we've seen historically is they would try to go, well, in certain cases, they just carpet bomb. Other places they do kind of a counterinsurgency, right? They go door to door looking for people, like kind of like police forces, right? That's what we did with Iraq. We did a lot of bombing too, but once the occupation started, there's a lot of door to door action, right? And you get to know the civilians in the area. IDF did no attempts at doing that. 0 attempts of doing that. They would bomb and bomb and bomb. On. They would bomb and bomb and bomb. The civilians would leave. Then they'd blow up their fucking houses and steamroll them. And then move on to the next neighborhood. On repeat. And we all know that. But Fuckface knows this. But guess what? He's full of shit. And a devil worshiper. Most likely. Most likely. Go ahead, Dubster.
I thought these guys earlier agreed Iraq was wrong.
Yeah, but this isn't even Iraq. What would happen in Gaza is not Iraq.
No, what I'm saying is, what he's saying right now is, if I'm prime minister of Israel and this just happened to me, I couldn't. What if these guys attacked our country? I can't live with this. We can't live with this as a country. We must do what we did, as in kill millions of people.
Yeah, and he's saying I'm against that, right?
So he previously said,
but he put it in context of
for
weapons of mass
Iraq.
destruction. Right? There weren't weapons of mass destruction, so thus that's why it was maybe wrong in his eyes versus like the actual action itself is wrong. Most likely, right? This guy's he's full-blooded neocon. Somehow a comedian, but also a full-blood neocon at the same time, so. Yeah. Right, there wasn't weapons of mass destruction. They told us that. They went into Iraq, and the whole story goes on from there, right? He's like, oh, well, there weren't weapons of mass destruction. What the fuck are we doing? Anyone can say that nowadays. Even Dinesh D'Souza says that. Even though people were screaming it to him when he was around the time period, right? People were probably screaming that to him, but he still didn't listen anyways because he has a boss. Just like Fuckface has a boss, and Dilbert has a fucking boss. But this one, it's like, oh my god, there is no lie about weapons of mass destruction. We're attacking the people that attacked us, right? Now, the idea would be, if you're going to do the American style, it'd be more counterinsurgency. This is not what America would do, as far as I understand, militarily. We've had a number of American soldiers saying, what the fuck is going on over here, and why are we supporting it?
Well, if you go with 9/11, then you say 18 Saudis and 3 Germans attacked us, you know that means attack Afghanistan. So that's what we would do.
But even those were like actually, on paper, more of a targeted strike than just bomb the entire fucking country to rubble. Right? That's way different. And these guys aren't even going on. The IDF's not even going in there.
Afghanistan. We fucked up Afghanistan.
Yes, but it wasn't. I'm telling you right now, it wasn't as blatant as this was in Gaza. Gaza's like, here's this tiny little strip of an area, and we're bombing the entire motherfucker. No attempts at, ingratiating with the civilian population to try to do operations and all that shit. Not saying it's right what the U.S. did. It's like, this is just more discriminate, like indiscriminate, and just like blatantly like, we're gonna kill as many people as we can. Soldier or not, adult or not, we're gonna kill as many people as we possibly can. Within reason of marketing, right? Of PR.
We did do that in Iraq.
Well, it's like, yes, but no, right?
We went
there's an actual occupation versus we blow up a neighborhood, then we move our military into those neighborhoods because they're already bombed out already, and there's no one there. And we slowly encroach, not going house by house, like, hey, is there a fucking Hamas in here? Come out with your hands up, right? Which is a lot of what U.S. soldiers were doing, which is why a lot of them died, right? A lot of them died. But
not a lot comparatively.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
50,000 to 3 million for Iraq.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact numbers. I don't know, 3 million. That's probably
Yeah,
a little
that's
too
the
much.
numbers I know of.
I've heard 1 million people. I'm sure people died in other circumstantial ways. Either way, it doesn't even amount to the once again the ratio of combatants to civilians killed in Gaza. It's not the same. Not the same.
No,
and that's
those
over
are not.
what 20 years of warfare versus
No,
just
no,
past 2 years now.
That's 95% civilians of Iraqis. Maybe
You think the U.S.
not.
killed 95% of the civilian population of Iraq?
No, 95% of the Iraqi deaths were citizens.
Oh yeah,
not
there's
soldiers.
a lot of civilians. Yes, there we go. A lot.
Yeah.
Over like what, a 20-year stretch versus less than a little bit over 2 years.
I mean,
I think the operations were a lot different as far as the way they carried them out. Even though it's as horrendous as the U.S. policy was, it wasn't as crazy as this shit is. It's not as crazy, in my opinion. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it's as crazy as what they've done in a little bit over 2 years in Gaza, and they're still going. By the way, it's ridiculous. What was the amount of tons of bombs dropped in that little strip of land, right? The little Gaza Strip. The tons. What was it? 70,000 fucking tons of bombs dropped, which could equate to like well past Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, that's ridiculous. And that little strip of land. Like, come on. That was like, once again, the U.S. gave zero fucks about civilians, in my humble opinion. I agree with you, but this was a different level of non-care.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was, because the stories I know of from the Iraq war, and it's literally they shut the block down, had 400 troops, 2 Humvees on both sides of a block, so a total of 4 Humvees with the 50 caliber on top, and then 200 soldiers walking through these complex / houses and clearing out, and it didn't matter if you were armed or not. Everyone was dying on that block that was not a soldier.
Which is
like they cleaned out. Just killed them all on block by block by block in multiple places. They didn't do it everywhere, yes, but they were doing that enough to where it was just as bad, just not as well known. And that's why we got the 22 soldiers a day committing suicide in America, because they know what the fuck they did.
Oh yeah, it's horrendous. But once again, what IDF soldiers are doing is that they're going block by block of already bombed out houses with already dead bodies in them, meaning there was no face-to-face, I'll shoot you for moving too suddenly. It was, we're not even going to see you. We're just going to blow up your entire fucking block, your entire fucking hospital, your entire fucking schools that were being used as like, not refugee, but like civilian places to hide because their houses were fucking gone. And then when you guys move in the tents, we blow those up too. From a distance. We're not there face to face doing that. In certain cases, sure, right? But in most cases, the majority of the deaths are just straight up bomb the entire block because we're aware of one guy being in the area. I don't have stories of the U.S. doing that. I don't. Possible. But
yeah, the stories are is sometimes they got orders. No one on this block, what we're shutting down, nobody comes out alive except for American soldiers.
Yeah.
Just kill them. We don't care who they are, how old they are, women, children.
In certain cases, probably. But this was
it wasn't everywhere, but it was enough places to where it was just as cold as what this is.
Oh yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. It's just this was a state mandate we kill civilians, no problem. That was the Israeli state mandate.
Right. What they're saying, like, we're just gonna do it. At least America hid it from us.
Well, yes, the actions of these soldiers on the streets, for sure. But I'm saying IDF didn't even have guys on the street doing that. They weren't on the streets really doing that. In some cases, sure. Checkpoints and shit like that, yeah, sure. Some of the food places or the aid areas, yeah, sure. They fired guns from a faraway distance and killed people from a distance that got out of line, right? But I'm saying, like, just outright carpet bomb the area. Full blocks decimated. Giant apartment buildings decimated. Once again, hospital, school, all of it. Not soldiers going through the hospital. Okay, where's Hamas at? Or even like, hey, anyone in there, shoot him, kill him. Not even that. Just like no one even sees these guys. Just blow them all the fuck up. Who cares? Blow them all up. They're meaningless. Blow them up. I'm just saying. Anyways, where were we? Oh, okay. Back to Fuckface and Dave Smith. Let's see how long I can handle listening to this without freaking out, because Dave had a moment where I actually, like, yeah, Dave, go there, keep going there, go that direction, man. And Dave obviously gets caught in the traps of a dick face. Here we go.
No, they go to commercial break.
All right, here we go.
But I mean, look, I mean...
So then they go in, and they are trying to eliminate Hamas. They're not trying to go in with special forces and take out Sinwar. They're not trying to take out this guy or the commander of this. They're trying to destroy Hamas. That's what they're trying to do.
By killing civilians
now,
first.
If you think that's not the right reaction, I understand. I think most people would say, if this has happened to your country, America, Britain, that's what the overwhelming majority of people would demand of their government. If the
not based on, once again, not based on the ratios of civilians to combatants' deaths in Gaza, according to, at least according to Matthew Cockrell, who's saying, like, this is the only time this has been seen in the 21st century, meaning even Iraq included, Afghanistan included, even Syria with Assad and what they were doing, right? They were killing a lot of civilians. Both sides were. But anyways, here we go.
Native Americans had done this, that would be the nature of the response. I don't believe it's credible to say that can be addressed on a policing basis. That's a large-scale military operation, and there's no other way to do it.
What can be accomplished? Destroying Hamas.
Degrading Hamas to the point where he just can't come back.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't think that's been done, but okay. I mean, so look, I mean, I guess in
stay there, Dave.
In your view, I wouldn't be able to degrade Hamas through police action or special ops or something like that. And in my view, it's like you're also not able to degrade Hamas. But my view comes with the bonus added of not slaughtering 100,000 people. So that's kind of the difference. But let me just say, can I just, to your point, because I get what you're saying, and I do think there is something.
They have degraded Hamas, though, Dave. It's like
they've killed a whole lot of them and probably created another generation of Hamas that they will be fighting for years to come. And we'll see how this.
Sorry, I'm getting very interrupted. I get excited.
No, it's fine. Yeah. I'm guilty of the same thing. But I will say that, like, I do think there's this tendency for people to say, like, well, look, if you want to put yourself in the and me and Coleman talked about this a bit, but like, if you want to put yourself in the Israeli shoes, like, I'm fine with that. I think then we should also put ourselves in the Palestinian shoes, and then we should put ourselves in the American shoes, or the British shoes for that matter, because that's what I really am concerned with. So I would say, first of all, I think it was Aaron Matei, actually, who had the line, which I really liked a lot, where he said, in order to buy Israel's the justification for this, you have to accept the premise that nothing can justify October 7th, but that October 7th can justify anything. And there is something where you go like, look, okay, I'm sure Israel could look at October 7th and say, we find this to be intolerable and we are entitled to a violent response. And if some innocent people get killed in that violent response, well, I'm sorry, but this just happened to us and we have a right to do that. You could get there from the Palestinian perspective too.
It's different.
And although,
though. I can
well,
tell
it
you
is.
why.
There are differences, but although
the differences are what matter.
Tell us why, dickface.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not sure they are, but there are differences. But although,
the differences are what matters here.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not sure they are, but
so
go ahead.
Here's the difference. The difference with, say, you mentioned, for example, the Soviet Union occupying Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
When Eastern Europe wanted to break away from the Soviet Union, they didn't invade Moscow and rape women. They didn't take hostages. The difference is that armed resistance, look, man, we're men. If people came to our place and started putting us in chains.
You're doing nothing about it. You will do nothing about it, dickface. You and Dilber ain't doing shit. Anyways, let's continue. We're men. Sure.
We'd rise up, we'd pick up a rifle, we'd engage in armed resistance. But when you deliberately target civilians, it's not
that
the same.
Isn't how
it's not the same as dropping bombs on terrorist houses
Western
who deliberately put their families in those
or
houses.
Eastern
it's not the
Europe
same.
resisted.
And that's the difference.
Okay. Let him get his point out. I'm sure I'll be wrecked.
Look, man, we're men. If people came to our place and started putting us in chains, we'd rise up, we'd pick up a rifle, we'd engage in armed resistance. But when you deliberately target civilians, it's not the same. It's not the same as dropping bombs on terrorist houses who deliberately put their families in those houses. It's not the same. And that's the difference.
Yeah, see, I guess if it wasn't for all of the reports over the last 2 years, then like maybe I don't know. Is it that different than IDF soldiers taking target practice at kids, as multiple doctors in Gaza have reported? Is it that much different than the, what was it called, the Where's Dad?
This claim appears to stem from Dr. Maynard's allegation that the IDF soldiers shot civilians at 8 points. No, it's no. Almost like a game of target practice. Where's Daddy refers to a report by 972 magazine and local call that found that AI systems have helped identify and
AI scheme where they were following the terrorists back to their homes to take out
and possibly misidentify tens of thousands. Possibly misidentify. Christ's sakes, bro. These guys are unreal. They're not real, bro. They're not real people, bro. I'm wrecked. And by the way, the sniper shots of snipers recording their own shots shooting children is before October 7th. Well before October 7th. Modern era,
Look,
social media, shooting fucking children in the fucking chest, in the face, in the temple.
I'm going to silence you here. You cannot refer to anything before October 7th.
God.
The rule, man. That's the rule. Established rule of this debate.
Well, if they did it after that, where there is no, right? They're not invading, right? Soldier by soldier, house by house, like you said, U.S. soldiers were doing, like kicking doors in and all that shit. That wasn't happening, right? They're on the outskirts, shelling random areas, sniper rifling, just shooting people. Just shooting people.
It's literally in every sense of the idea of shooting fish in a barrel.
Literally.
Yeah.
What did?
But it's also since they deprived them of water and food, it's taken the fish out of the water so it can breathe oxygen, which it can't do.
Funny enough, they're not allowed to fish either. Funny enough, food.
Right. And then shoot the fish while it's out of the water.
What did because we've seen the social media clips of people like giggling and doing TikTok videos in Palestinian houses, making fun of their living spaces and them just like, hey, look at me, I'm firing a gun, see, look, right, for fun and shit like that. But then you have actual alleged eyewitness, right, Tony Aguilar, the guy that worked for the Gaza Health, what was it called, Gaza Humanitarian Foundation or whatever, GHF. He was like a mercenary for them or security for them. And he's like, yeah, these people that have never served in the military, is their first time being called up to serve in the military and for the IDF, that don't know what they're doing, they don't know how to shoot fucking guns, going out there and like shelling buildings and shelling areas and firing off rounds in random areas because they haven't really, like, they're not super trained with all of that. It's like, hey, kid, you want to shoot some shots off? Go ahead. Meanwhile, like, there's civilians on the other side of that bullet. Without the kids even knowing that, most likely. He's like, it's so unprofessional. That was according to this guy's statements. I'd call it sacrilegious. I don't know what the fuck you would call it. Horrendous. But he's like, yo, it's absolutely unprofessional because they're firing towards these beaches and there's people on the beaches. And if you don't think rounds can go that far, you're wrong. Here we go.
I don't know. Is it that different than IDF soldiers taking target practice at kids, as multiple doctors in Gaza have reported? Is it that much different than the what was it called, the Where's Daddy AI scheme, where they were following the terrorists back to their homes to take out their families too? I mean, like, no, I don't.
Do you think Israel is deliberately killing civilians? Like,
by definition, yes. Like,
by what definition?
Well, in the sense that, like, if you take in action that you know is going to result in civilians being killed, then it's deliberate.
But it's
by every fucking rubric, they are killing civilians on purpose. As far as all the evidence, from like zoomed in cases of IDF interacting with civilians, like all the stories that it's brought up, right? To straight up the numbers themselves dictate that you're killing civilians at such a mass rate. It's like a nuke went off in the area.
Now, be fair, from Israel's point of view, they were just bombing the Hamas guy that was in the hospital. It's not their fault that he was in a hospital and there were people in the hospital.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. They couldn't wait 5 minutes for him to exit the hospital, be alone on the road.
Tell it to Neo and Jesus. Go ahead. Whoever says that talking point, go say it to those guys. Good luck. Here we go.
The rules of war say that is what you should do.
The rules of war are a construct. I mean, listen, like,
sure.
Of course we're talking about morality or logic here.
But
it's like, look,
bring it back to morality, Dave.
Look, you're again, all the reports, I mean, which you could go through, you go read Dave DeCamp's reporting for the last 2 years, and every single day there's been an article about another atrocity that was being committed against them. Now, there certainly is a difference between, like, the primitive nature of Hamas's attack and the barbaric nature of Hamas's attack, but at the same time, the end result of it is innocent people being slaughtered.
I know it is.
And that is, so, and if you...
But there is a difference between Nazi Germany attacking Poland and the Western Allies responding. Would you agree? There is a difference.
There's a difference.
They both result in people being killed, but there is a difference. Because it's about...
Hey, Dave, bring up the food aid sites where knowingly unarmed people are being mass killed. Is that okay? Hey, man, is that a war crime? Okay. If they don't investigate that for a war crime, I want you to spend the rest... Like, I would say this to Fuckface and Dilbert. But hey, guys, since you think that's a war crime, spend the rest... Like, I mean, every episode, intro every fucking episode of your fucking channel with that story. Over and over and over again. If the numbers increase as far as the number dead and injured, bring it up, like, update it. Every fucking episode. Show to me that you actually care about quote unquote war crimes. Show me you care. But Dave doesn't have the wherewithal, the intellect, the cleverness, and most importantly, the integrity towards morality. Keep it there, Dave. These fuckfaces can't survive in morality territory. They're going to try to fuck with you about logistics and fucking strategies and, trolley car experiments and shit like that. Bring it right back to morality every fucking time. And they have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. They can only go away if you let them go that way. Otherwise, they're fucking stuck. And they know that. And I'm very well aware of it. I just saw it happen. Here we go.
The conduct and who initiates that particular phase of it, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, but I think
No. Because he already stopped it at October 7th. He said,
that's what he's calling the phase.
Forget about the history.
That's what he just called it a phase. He said October 7th is the next phase.
No, but he was saying, forget about everything before October 7th. what do you expect? What do you expect Israel to do? Right? But now he's like,
because
they struck first.
Israel's in phase of everything after October 7th is the phase.
Yeah. At the same time saying, forget about what happened before October 7th. But also establishing it as the start of everything. It's... There we go.
But there is a difference. Because it's about the conduct and who initiates that particular phase of it, right? Is that fair?
Yeah, but I think that...
So this is the difference with October the 7th. This is why it's a different category of violence, in my opinion. Because you've got a situation where a band of terrorists deliberately invade another place, and they don't attack. I mean, sure, they attack some IDF facilities.
They killed a bunch of IDF people.
They attack some IDF facilities, but really, it's about taking Israelis hostage, raping them, killing women, killing children, dragging them off to the dungeons and holding them there for power. That's not the same as what the IDF is doing. Would you accept that?
No, I don't really think that's right. I mean,
yeah, he's wrong about that. Get him, Dave. What was the lady that had to resign because she whistle blew on the gang raping of Palestinian fucking prisoners? Guys that were there without charge, by the way. Not Hamas. I mean Palestinian people that are hostages to the fucking Israeli military. There without charges. People that have died in those prisons. I think an American citizen died in those prisons. And yes, the whistleblowing about a gang rape. Make him answer for that. Well, there's no evidence for that. Like, yo, Dave. Dave could be in front of the... This guy could have horns and a fucking tail right in front of Dave. Dave would be like, oh, well. He would like, yeah, man, are you a liar? Do you deceive people? Are you a liar? Dave can't find himself to do it because he's a fucking ditz. Here we go.
And again, I think there's, if it makes sense, I just like to use like an example. It's almost like, you could say like, like Eastern European countries, as you know well, right? Where there's a lot of corruption. And there'll be like low level, primitive corruption type stuff. Like you could, if you're in, I don't know, there's countries if you're in Romania, it's kind of like a known thing, which is true, I think, in Mexico too. But like if you get pulled over by the cops, you could slip them some money and get out of it. Now that's very low level corruption, right? In the United States of America, good luck doing that. If you get pulled over for a DUI and you try to slip a cop a couple $100, I mean, maybe one time but I can assure you that is not a good idea and you're just gonna get another charge. We don't have low level primitive corruption like that. What we have is
that's probably not
the prison guards union lobbies for mandatory minimums for marijuana. We have corruption on a much more sophisticated, but in a sense, it is still corruption, right? So in the sense that, yes, Israel, it's very, when you're having a fighter pilot bomb a building and you say it's collateral damage, I understand where that is not, it doesn't get as visceral reaction. It's not as barbaric and primitive as like Hamas breaking into Israel and just kind of killing everything that moves and then dragging as many people back to hold in captivity. But again, Israel, when they did this swap just a couple weeks ago after the ceasefire, Israel released 1,700 Gazans that they've been holding without charges of anything. They've been doing this, by the way, since well before this latest conflict in Gaza.
But you can't compare those two things either.
Well,
you can't.
You can compare.
Well, you can't.
Maybe you can't equate them. You certainly can compare them.
Okay, fine. You can't equate them, which is what I'm really saying. You can't compare people, many of whom are violent terrorists.
And many maybe aren't.
And many aren't. And people who've been taken hostage by a war party of Hamas crossing into Israel.
I'm pretty sure plenty of the people that were taken hostage were IDF as well. It wasn't all civilians. There were IDF soldiers that were taken as well. Just like in the counter that Dave brought up of, there's plenty of Palestinians and probably a mixture of Hamas guys as well that were taken by the IDF. So it's just like, it's like, I get it, the intellectual jibber jabber running around having debates about topics and ideas and bringing up factoids and statistics and all that shit. But at some point, Dave, you have to recognize you're dealing with a fucking liar. At some point, man. Is this abusive Dave at this point? Like, are you being abused, Dave? Are you a willing abuse victim, essentially? You're gonna fucking stand up and be like, hey man, are you fucking lying to me? And for what reason? What do you get out of it? And that's when things are actually unfolding. But Dave's too pussy to go there. He's too pussy to go there. He wants to make friends. Fuck, man. I would say that to my friend. Like, yo, man, you fucking lying to me, dude? I would say that to friends. Not celebrity, your people call my people, let's have lunch fucking friends. But actual fucking people, like, okay, I like this guy. If you don't like him on that level, what is fucking holding you back? What is stopping you? You're afraid to look like the fucking bad guy? Well, guess what? These motherfuckers need the bad guy in their faces. They do. Well, the bad guy would be the good guy in that scenario, right? Hey, man, I'm going to show you you're a fucking hypocrite in front of everyone. Yes, it'll hurt your channel. Yes, you'll look bad. But guess what? It's not even it's for you, you idiot. Well, actually for the audience too, but you know what I mean. You're in front of me, I'm going to deal with you. If I catch you, if I get a whiff that you're lying to me, I'm going to fucking let it be known. I'm not going to roll my eyes. I'm going to let you fucking know. Hey, man, you fucking lying to me? And Dave can't do that, apparently.
Okay. For your audience.
The same things over and over again, because I can't help it. Can't help it.
For your audience, some of the breakdowns of some of the things people get arrested for that are Palestinian in the situation by the Israeli soldiers previous to October 7th, they have to go through checkpoints. And if the IDF finds something that they consider contraband, yes, they get arrested. But sometimes Israel makes it up. And you can watch the video surveillance of their arrests sometimes. It's out there on YouTube.
Oh, yes, it is.
You can watch them just like, it's obvious the person had nothing. They tackle them to the ground, and it's been children, it's been mothers, it's been teenagers, it's been 60-year-old men, 60-year-old women. It's across the board. There's multiple videos of this. It's obvious they had nothing on them, and they got arrested for it. And that's part of the 1,700 people that were released in this last trade.
Mostly that, probably, yes. But some are Hamas guys as well, to be fair.
Right. Some of them are getting caught with knives, getting caught with guns, crossing these checkpoints. But it's usually a checkpoint issue. Sometimes it's they just chose that person to investigate raid, came up with stuff, or they actually knew who they were going after and were stomping down the resistance of people in a fucking fishbowl. What do you expect? I'm in a fucking prison and I did no crime. What do you expect from that mentality? That's the guilty side. Like, the guilty Palestinians are just, I'm wrongfully imprisoned. If you've lived that your entire life, I've been wrongfully imprisoned. And here are the wardens. And they know that they wrongfully imprisoned me.
Do you remember the ambulance guys? Remember that story? Of the ambulance guys, they pull up, they get shot, they get killed, right, and they get buried in a shallow grave. But there's people before that videotape, right? There's people that showed up before that. That were, I think they were UN workers, like, well, UNRWA, UNRWA, were like kind of associated with the UN, but not. But they're in the UN, but they're not in the UN. Like, no one cares about them, kind of thing. Were these guys like and actually civilians as well? I believe there's a father and a son walking down the road. Right? They don't have any vehicle. They're walking, and they got stopped by the IDF as well. And obviously, guns pointed at them and accused of being Hamas. Like, hey, are you Hamas? Imagine that as a thing. Are you Hamas? And a lot of these guys got like most of them died, right? And that ambulance situation I'm talking about. Do you remember that, Dubster, at all?
Yes.
Okay. Some of these guys survived, right? And what happened? They went to fucking jail. For what? For being ambulance workers, or for being a dad and the son walking down the road, or just because the IDF viewed you as a threat, as like, hey, this might be Hamas. Let's shoot at them. And maybe they don't kill them. What do? They take them inside anyways. They lock them up anyways. Even though it's their mistake. Not one person that showed up in that one incident was Hamas at all. Not one fucking person. But somehow Hamas justified every little action that was done in that scenario. Now, when I look at that, I see, let's be real, paranoid, shit in their pants soldiers, right? People that aren't used to being in scenarios like that. They're shit in their pants, like, fuck it, like, shoot. Just shoot. Make sure I get home. Fuck them, make sure I get home type of shit, right? Type of mentality. But once that's over, like, you can't just, like, arrest them and hold on to them, right, guys? You got the situation wrong. You shot Red Crescent fucking ambulance drivers and shit like that, and medical workers. Instead, they shoot them all up, bury them in a shallow grave, bury their fucking ambulances in a shallow grave as well. You know, they had to bring out, like, machinery to move the cars in a certain place, to cover it with dirt, to dig up giant holes to bury these things. And it's like, oh my god, how is that not international fucking news? I mean, it kind of was, but it wasn't, though.
It was over. It got its 72 hours of attention.
As Israel was saying, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. Then like evidence comes out, like, okay, maybe something bad happened. Then the full evidence came out. Those guys got fired.
Yeah.
And then boom, story done with. Next.
And not those guys, just the commander.
Just the commander. Yep.
of the unit.
Fired. He got fired.
They kept the soldiers under him.
Yes. And let's be real, he probably got fired and moved to a different fucking unit. Let's be honest.
And his higher ups, you don't even know who they are.
Exactly.
He's just like he's mid-level management on the business front of infantry.
That dude is low, like, let's be honest, low level essentially. They're out there fucking reconning like a random road at nighttime, right? These relatively speaking, that guy's low level, honestly. Right. And yet he had the cushy comfort of not getting in trouble for that. Not really getting in trouble for that.
Might have been the lowest ranking.
Buried them.
Might have been the lowest ranking officer, like a lieutenant or something.
Like, it's incredible.
Just above a sergeant.
If Dave was armed with that story and then brought up like remember Blackwater, when those guys like actually went to trial for crimes they committed, right? For like that civilian spill out they had, and where was it at? Remember that there was like four Blackwater guys. They opened fire on civilians essentially.
Where?
Fuck, I'm trying to remember. Was it Afghanistan?
Gaza?
No. This is like Iraq War, Afghanistan War, like midst of it time period. But those guys got in trouble. They had to stand trial. I think they got pardoned later on. I think they got pardoned by some administration. It might have been Obama, actually. Obama might have pardoned these guys. I could be tripping about that, honestly, but for some reason my mind goes there. But either way, it's like there's more of a strict nature towards those guys than that whole scenario. Once again, if you did nothing wrong, why the fuck are you burying these fools with actual like caterpillar fucking bulldozer fucking things? Burying the fucking ambulance too? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I remember watching the fucking, or seeing a picture of the ambulance just sticking out of the ground.
Exactly, like they did a shitty job of trying to hide it too. But nonetheless, they tried to hide it. Like, what does that say to you? They did something wrong. They noted they did something wrong, and they tried to cover it up blatantly. And one guy gets fired and probably just relocated to another fucking unit somewhere. Like, come on. It's like, Dave, if you're armed with that, you can compare it to that Blackwater shit. Like, yo, how come this is happening? Fuckface can't do anything about it because he doesn't know about it at all. He's not trying to know about it. And guess what? There's more and more scenarios. The what's it called? Al Sharifa Hospital, where they claimed Hamas was on the stairwell somewhere, so they blew up these fucking medical workers because Hamas might be there. What did Israel do? Oops, my bad. Oops. I'm sorry. Oops. It's like, but that's just those are two scenarios when there's probably, let's be honest, hundreds, if not thousands, of scenarios where we have blatant evidence. Like they brought up the doctors. Doctors like, yo, how come I'm treating kids that have wounds to their hearts and through their skulls? How does that happen? It wasn't like a firefight and there's like 30 people that got shot in that one scenario. It's like these guys are being, boom, one guy shot, or one kid shot, brought to the hospital. Boom, one kid shot, brought to the hospital. That doesn't make sense unless you're like actually trying to shoot them like that. Now, if we had to actually question these people, like, what were you shooting at and why? What was the point of that? Did the kid have like an IED in his hand? Did he have a rocket launcher in his hand? What's going on? Tell us what's happening here. But I think a lot of these guys realize.
He grabbed for the food first.
Well, this has been happening before October 7th, by the way. The sniper shots at children.
Yeah.
And it's like,
what was it?
What's your excuse for that? Your reason for that?
See, one of the reasons he wants to ignore anything before October 7th, because almost a year earlier, Israel fucking just opened fire on like a religious holiday of Islam, that they were all near one of the walls.
I'm not sure I knew about that, but fair enough. Makes sense.
They weren't like rushing the walls. It was just that was where they went to do their like religious thing.
Yeah.
And it was like 200 people got shot.
Now I know more about the political, like, where people are like, "Yo, this is not, you're treating us shittily. You know, this sucks." Like, I remember very distinctly the guy in the wheelchair. Like, is that guy gonna invade Israel or something? Like, come on. And like, what 50 died in that one day? One of them being like a nurse practitioner looking out for people that got shot, right? As she's helping someone that got shot, she gets shot. I'm not even talking about the number of journalists that have been killed in this. I don't think, come on, it's not fucking close. Not even fucking close. They call this not a crime. It's not even fucking close. And I get so tilted hearing Dave. Like, Dave, you know this shit.
Is there a hospital left in Gaza?
I'm sure there's parts of hospals, and there's probably some fully functional, but let's be real, aid and equipment.
Last I heard, about 6 months after October 7th, they already bombed 32 of the hospitals in Gaza. And that's given leeway. I think it was faster than 6 months.
Fair enough. I don't know exactly. I'm aware of, I believe basically every university was hit. And some universities are attached to hospitals as well, right? It's normally. But at least I believe every single university has been hit. It's maybe not fully collapsed, but definitely hit. Your best chance is probably Gaza City, as far as like any sense of something standing still. Would probably be Gaza City, maybe more towards southern Gaza. If I had to guess. Don't trust me on that. I'm just saying what I think possibly is the case. It's there's no way around it. There's no way around it. was an all-out, we are here to kill all of you type of situation. That is the situation we were dealing with right there. And God forbid, like, imagine there was no internet. Imagine that. The actual revelation of what would be happening over there. Good God. And the gall of fuck faces like this getting on screen to fucking justify everything. And it's like, yo, that's why I keep begging Dave to go back there. Yo, as a human, how the fuck are you on this side of things? How is that the case? Here we go. A little bit more, guys, and I'm cutting it. It is what it is.
How they butcher and rape.
Well,
it's not the same thing.
Again, I'm not saying it's the same thing.
Well, you kind of are.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that, like, they are awfully similar. You know, like, if I don't think, like, if you, as you said, we're men, and we're men with families and stuff like that. I think that, like, yes, if a Hamas militant broke into your house and grabbed your kid and brought him back over there, I don't know that that actually is that much different than someone in an IDF uniform breaking into your house, grabbing your kid, and going to hold them. By the way, there's been reports going back decades and decades of torture in these Israeli detentions. They hold Palestinians from the West Bank and Gaza. In fact, I think it was 1999 when they outlawed, finally, what they called moderate interrogation practices. Moderate interrogation including tying them up
Hold on, read that.
And blasting loud music, things that we
Okay. Hello? Are you saying anything?
would consider torture.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Push talk.
I hear you.
In 1999, Israel's Supreme Court ruled that the Shin Bet, Israel's internal security service, could no longer use moderate physical pressure, quote unquote, during interrogations. The court held that methods like violent shaking, painful shackling, and sleep deprivation had no legal...
Including tying them up and binding them and blasting loud music, things that we would consider torture.
No legal basis and violated human dignity and liberty under Israel's basic law. Okay, but I swear there's a video that once again got whistle blew by one of their head attorneys or kind of like an AG, right? Or it's like DOJ style thing, right? Whistle blew them gang raping a Palestinian prisoner. So once again, you can write all the fucking words you want down, but sometimes it doesn't even matter, right? It's go time. We have these ideas about torture, right? What did the U.S. do? We tortured fucking people. We did, and no one got in trouble for it. Maybe low-level guys got in trouble for it on a public scale, but in reality, Gina Haspel just shows up in Trump's administration in his first term, like nothing happened. There we go.
So, yes, it's much more systematized, it's much more sophisticated, it's not as primitive, but in the same way that I went, the prison guard union lobbying for mandatory minimums really is it is as much corruption as just paying off a cop when you're drunk behind the wheel. It's just at a much larger scale. And the point is that the people, right, the woman who you hear wailing as she hears her 1-year-old screaming for her from underneath a building of rubble, who's literally being tortured to death, just his bones crushing and screaming for his mother. She's feeling the same thing that those she's as much of a human being. She's feeling the exact same thing that those Israeli parents felt when their kids got slaughtered at that festival. The same thing me and you would be feeling if it was our kids in that situation. And so the point is that, look, obviously, I'm not equating it. I'm not saying they're the same things because, look, I'd be much more comfortable being next door neighbors with a drone operator, you know what I mean, who is drone bombing weddings in Yemen or something like that, than I would being next door neighbors with a Hamas terrorist, you know what I mean? Because there is a difference in the way more sophisticated, civilized men can compartmentalize things like that in their life. But I do think that, like, if you're talking about this conflict and you're going, put yourself in their perspective, the end result is that they're going through that at a much larger scale than the Israelis ever
Of course,
have.
but that's what happens when you start a war with a much bigger force, right?
It's very debatable who
Shut the
started what
fuck
here.
up. Oh, bro. Okay, that's why we gotta ignore anything before October 7th. Who started it?
Yeah, exactly. And like, come on, like, am I wrong saying devil worshiper, bro? Am I wrong about saying that? It's actual malice that this guy is in support of, apparently, or justifying.
Look, we could argue all day about your opinion of what happened before October 7th and what I think of what happened before October 7th. Ignore that. Let's talk about the fact that after October 7th, your side, well, they started October 7th. Don't you know?
And if you bring up something that where it's like, well, you know, October 6th, this happened. You can't bring that up because it's before October 7th. You can't say it. Duh. There we go.
At a much larger scale than the Israelis ever have.
Of course, but that's what happens when you start a war with a much bigger force, right?
It's very debatable who started what here.
Well,
everyone claims they're reacting to the other one.
I know, but October 7th is a sui generis thing. It's a one-of-a-kind thing, right?
You shouldn't have to rearrange.
No, it's actually not.
No, it's not. It's not. It's like Nat Turner in the South, bro, during slavery. Like, that's not. We can see why someone might do that. Action. The U.S. like the what would we call them before the U.S. What do you call them? Like colonialists? I don't know. The colonies, right? The colonies when they're being subjugated by the British. It like. Once again, not saying these things are the right way to do things, but like you can understand, like you could see that it would happen as a possibility. Like it makes sense, almost in a way, right?
If I took the side of what I believe his history of World War II, which he referenced, what Germany did to Poland, that's kind of his chosen example to be similar.
Well, it'd be like ignoring World War I in regards to World War II. It'd be like almost like ignoring it, right? It's like okay, forget about World War I. Forget about that. World War II. Hitler did this, and that. Like, well, how did he get there in the first place? Why were people maybe desperate to have like some sort of leader to do some shit like that? Like it's. Are we stupid? Like, come on.
And this has happened multiple times through history. I mean, if you want to go through actual,
it's continuous,
right?
The first caveman beating the shit out of another caveman, like in 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? The first fucking monkey beating up another monkey. You don't think that all leads to where we're at right now? Of course it does. So I don't know why we're eliminating that. Why not go to what Dave initially was like? Go to the moral level. Go to that level. Because you don't need, like, yes, there's history and stuff like that, but, like, hey, man, is this okay to do at any moment in time? Is this one thing okay to do at any moment in time? All right? Why can't we go there? Instead, we're selling fucking TRT injections from Hims. From fucking, look at them. Hims.
Change your life.
Skip.
Right. And the reason this really matters is, you know, I think you paint a very important picture. I don't think enough people, particularly on the pro-Israel side,
have you had Hims?
Get the scale of the suffering in Gaza, right? But if I were that father, I would be going, why are we here? How has this happened? And what I'd be saying is, why did you have to go and do October 7th? Why did you make...
His very point, yo. It's like, Dave, go on, dude. If I was a kid, I'd be like, why do you have to do this October 7th stuff? Well, on October 7th, on October 6th, they killed your mom. That's why I'm doing this. Right? It's like, not saying that's the case. I'm saying, like, historically, like, the events lead to another. That's why you can't just say, like, okay, erase the past. It never happened. Why are you doing October 7th? Like, come on. Why are you pouring tea into the ocean? What's wrong with you? Like, well, they're making us pay these taxes, and it's unfair, and they're subjugating us, and they're treating us like shit, and right? Why are you Irish rising up for? The history started yesterday. It started yesterday, didn't it? Well, you know, they're taxing us for fucking hunting in the woods and shit like that. You know, like we have our reasons, bro. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like they're gonna have some sort of reason on the surface to say out loud. They will. And fuck this your word versus my word shit. If I give you a scenario, is this okay? And when fuckface says, "Well, it's a war," then you know where you're standing, right, Dave? Go ahead, Dub, sir. Sorry.
I wonder what this guy would think about the story of Robin Hood.
Which is where I was going with the hunting the king's game in the woods and shit like that. Right?
Yeah, like, would he be on the side of the sheriff?
He would have to be, too. That's the irony of it. In all folklore and all tales of all time, he'd be on the bad guy's side. He would be.
Like, what is it?
They're stealing from the king. It's like, well, what happened before that?
For Snow White, he'd be on the side of the witch that gives her the apple.
If she wasn't the fairest of them all, things would be fine. How dare she? God. All right, I'm ready to, like, this is... I almost said the R word. I almost said it right there. I promise not to say that word. Let's hear the Nick Fuentes part, because I'm curious. And then move, like, this will be it. This will be the last portion. Of course, there's a fucking ad. Of course there is. Send us your money. Yeah, hymns.
But okay, so again, I'm not equating the
already.
things. I'm saying the logic of saying that when you don't push back, you are therefore endorsing, I think is faulty logic. So that's the only
But it depends on the
making.
extreme, is my point.
No, but I'm saying that logic still remains no matter how extreme the person is. If you have a conversation with somebody who has the worst views in the world and you just talked about cars and you agreed on that, it doesn't therefore logically follow that you agreed with the other stuff.
But what if you had someone on your show who says we should kill black people? Or, you know, black people are genetically inferior and therefore we should structure society in such a way that, you know, they get mistreated. Or whatever. Or, you know, someone who says, you know, he encourages his followers to say, I will kill, rape, and die in my name, as Nick does.
Is this are we
what would you do if you have someone that's basically saying that and like their actions are doing that, but they're using your platform to make it look like they're doing like the right thing? What'd you say about that? Fuckface. Huh?
Like, I'm trying to figure out how I can con the next guy I invite on my show.
Like, Dave should be
Could you help me out?
scorching these idiots. Like, well, you had, sorry, as far as like material damage in the world, I'm sorry, but Netanyahu has done plenty more than Nick Fuentes. And you guys had him out and gave him a fucking back rub. Or pseudo-intellect, fake-ass library. Bet those books are fake, bro. But there's nothing in those books. There's no writing in them. There's no text in there. Just empty fucking pages. It's like the cardboard cutout of books. They're probably that level of dweebs. Hey, man, what's in that book over there? I have no idea. It's just a TV set, mate. It's a make-believe set to make us look smarter when we're not actually smart. We're kind of dumb fucks, actually, if you think about it. Bibbidi-bobbidi, bibbidi-bobbidi. Here we go.
talking Fuentes here?
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Oh, you didn't see that one? And then you have that person on, and you don't talk about any of this.
These guys criticizing anyone
Well,
on
and that's
anyone's
kind of
show
a
when they had
problem, isn't it?
Netanyahu on and gave him a fucking
there's
foot
a couple
rub.
things here. First of all, it's a unique situation, like the Tucker having Nick Fuentes on, and
But
I
Dave
also
will
had
fall
Nick
for
on
it.
a couple weeks before,
That's why we're
which
talking to
was
you
a
about
big deal until Tucker had him on, and now no one cares about that anymore. Tucker eclipsed me again. But like, look, it's a situational, and there's certain dynamics that are going on here now. So like, I do think there's this weird.
God, Dave, you're such a fucking
There's,
loser, bro.
to me, a little bit of a disconnect between what that interview actually was and the way that a lot of people are perceiving it, where they're saying that like, okay, yes, it's true that Tucker, or myself for that matter, didn't go, hey, we've got you here. I think you're a terrible person, and here are all the awful things that you've said, and I want to fight with you for 3 hours about all these awful things you've said here. But I also think that Nick Fuentes is a unique thing. You know, he came up in the dark, like his whole brand is that he's saying the most, you know, toxic things. And he's intentionally, obviously, I mean, if you ever watch the kid, he's doing a right-wing shock jock thing. Like, there's a lot of humor involved in it, there's a lot of trolling involved in it, and there's a lot of kind of like getting off on I'm saying the wildest, edgiest thing. And in that environment, no, I actually don't think it's
frat
good.
boys,
Well, let me just finish this.
Okay, sure.
In that environment, I don't think the right move is to like go like, I'm appalled by what you said. To me, at least, it seemed more like the right move was to go like, all right, hey, let's talk about this. Like, look, do we actually believe this? You know, and what was interesting to me is when he talked to me, at least, I know he did condemn racial hatred. He was like, yes, we shouldn't hate people just because of the race that they are. I brought up the Holocaust and I was like, you seem to be implying pretty heavily here that you don't think this happened. So let's argue about this because I'm pretty darn sure it happened. And he really just kind of conceded. He was like, yeah, I think it might be exaggerated. I was like, I don't really think it is because like, look at these numbers and look at this. And he kind of conceded that. On Tucker's show, Tucker literally said to him that it is, listen, he goes, we are.
Side note, I watched a movie last night of, what's his name? Rami Halleck? Fucking computer. I'm fucking this up so badly. The guy who played Freddie Mercury. Whatever it. And he plays the computer guy in the USA show. It was him, and it was Russell Crowe was Himmler, I believe. It was like about the Nuremberg trials. It's about Nuremberg trials, right? And they showed some real footage. I'm like my stomach fucking turned. I was like, holy shit.
Himmler didn't make it. What's the poison?
Oh wait, who was the guy that? There's a guy that's like famous for going to trial at the Nuremberg shit. Right.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember the guy's name.
He's like I forgot his name. He's like the number one. Like after those guys died, he's like the number one now, basically. Right. After Hitler and whoever else died, he's like the number one guy for the Nazis, right? For the Third Reich. Either way, they showed some like actual real footage. Oh my God, is that shit horrendous? I don't care if it's 20 fucking people. That thing is horrendous. There's no way around it. There's no fucking way around it. Too many dead bodies piled up. No fucking way. So you can say, oh no, only 100,000 died. Like, yeah, go look at 100,000 people with no muscle, no fat, just pure bones, barely surviving, and watching them die. Watching them get thrown into piles, watching them get bulldozed into, giant ditches. I don't care how many fucking people it is. That shit is fucking terrible. Straight up. And I've seen images like that before. I used to watch, I've watched a decent amount of like World War II documentaries, kind of like more like official story documentaries. As much as I've lent my ear to the idea of people, like, oh, there's it wasn't 6 million people. I will leave room for that as well. I have no problem with that. But once again, I don't care if it's 30 fucking people. I don't care. Morally, I don't care. And that kind of comes back to where Dilbert and Fuckface are, and Dave's lack of understanding that. It doesn't matter if it's a family, like on a farm somewhere where some bad shit happens, or if it's a mass scale war or genocide. It doesn't fucking matter. The point is, if someone doesn't move because of that, we got fucking problems. When you see these two fucking idiots, Dilbert and Fuckface, justifying these things, there's no way. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you guys are sorry. Listen, I'll love you as human beings, but guess what? You go sit at the fucking kids' table. I'll have Thanksgiving with my fucking friends and family. You guys at the kiddie table. I can't fucking hear you over there somewhere. Go do your shit over there. When you feel like you're ready to step up, come, please present your argument. But it better be fucking good. Otherwise, you're going to get scorched again. Because things like I saw in that movie, things like I've seen in Gaza, those can be results of dumb fuck faces spilling out their propaganda to the rest of us. That can actually be a result where they stall it out. Or like, hey man, something wrong's happening here. No, that's war. It's war. Don't worry about it. And they actually like kind of delay your natural intuitive reactions to things. Well, they can't do it themselves, but people allow themselves to be delayed because of their words. Because they view them as legit. And guess what? It ties right to Joe Rogan, who lets fuckface and Dilbert on his show and say sweet nothings. And Rogan just, whoa, wow. Meanwhile, they might be selling some of the cringiest, worst, horrible fucking narratives on planet Earth. There is nothing is ever isolated. Always one thing leads to another. Always. Something I'm doing right now leads to something way later on. It does. Just like any one of us does. Our actions are actually important. It's not up to Dave Smith and Dilbert and Fuckface, or Trump or Netanyahu, or an IDF soldier or a Hamas soldier. It's everyone. We're all involved. There's no way around it. And it's like, man, I beg for the audience to, like, one day grab the fucking Sorcerer's fucking Stone. What was it called? Excalibur. Grab that. Grab, Sir Arthur's fucking sword. And be the fucking dude. Or the lady. Be the fucking person, dude. Like, really. It's whatever.
Was Russell Crowe in a fat suit, or was he playing a skinny guy?
And it'd be nice to Russell Crowe. He has gained some weight over the years. He's not gladiator.
Well, I'm trying to
Russell
figure
Crowe
out.
He's an older guy.
Trying to figure out which Nazi guy you're talking about, because the one that testified and they all based it all on was pretty skinny guy. The third ranked guy was really fat guy.
Well, just I can't do it right now, but just look up Russell Crowe and Nuremberg. Look those up next to each other, and you'll find a character.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here's more of two fuck faces and a mediocre comedian. Here we go.
Christians, and it is against my religion to hate a group of people based on being in that group. And again, he did kind of seem to concede that. Now, I don't know. Does this mean that Nick is moderating his views? Does it mean that he's trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and he still believes all of that stuff? Is he maybe a 26-year-old kid who kind of doesn't himself know whether he made a name for himself as being the edgiest, most shocking guy? Now he's...
So what you're saying, Dave, is that Nick may not know what he's talking about. He's just saying things. Why is that of value? So then, like, Nick's mediocre then. Got it. Here we go.
Become ultra huge. Now Charlie Kirk gets murdered in front of all of us. And Nick, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world if he was moderating his views and wanted to get a little bit better. And so, while I agree with you on this, I think there should be more debates.
Better.
I think Ben Shapiro should debate Nick Fuentes, honestly. I think there should be big debates that happen. But I didn't think, also in the Tucker thing and with me too, in the context of it, they had been feuding. I mean, Nick had been attacking me a little while ago. And then with Tucker and him, I mean, they were like in a white hot feud where Tucker also took a swipe at him and kind of took a swing and missed by calling him a Fed without really being able to back that up or whatever, which is in this business like almost like the worst thing you could call someone. And so I don't know, it was like a standoff in a weird way. And I don't know, I don't think that's bad. I still err on the side of
we're not saying it's bad.
We're not saying it's bad. So come back to, so I guess when you were saying like attacking someone and going, I'm outraged, I'm disgusted, I agree. I think that's all performative nonsense.
Yeah.
And we've been accused of, going soft on people and not showing appropriate levels of outrage when we interview a mainstream politician like Nigel Farage. I find it childish. I'm going to be honest with you.
And we know about you, Netanyahu, right? Come on. We know that's the real deal of the thing that people complain about. And Dave knows that too as he looks down, like, fuck. I could bring up this, but you know what? I'll let you keep rocking. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dilbert. Couple wins for you in life.
And performative. But what I do think it's a responsibility of anyone sitting in the chair is, if this person is saying outrageous things, is for you to get to the bottom
Dilbert
of
and
it.
Kyle have the
Does
same
he
haircut, by
genuinely
the way.
believe it? Is he being like a kind of comedic edgelord? Is he saying it purely in a cynical way just to get money, clicks, and attention? Is it a combination of all three? Or is he just a kid who's just somehow found himself after, starting off in his mum's basement to use the hack concept of,
kid in
the internet, and all of
Chicago.
a sudden he's got this kind of huge global audience? What is it? That is the responsibility of the interviewer. And also as
Well, Dilbert, let me explain to you. Because of the whole content creation little meta thing that's going on here, because you guys are so mediocre, it allows a child like Nick Fuentes to appear to be legit. That's what actually happened. Let's be honest. Because you guys are mediocre, you give pillow soft interviews to Netanyahu. Thus, when Nick's like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?" you look legit. Or sorry, he looks legit when he calls that out. And that's what Nick has been doing. You guys aren't. It's not difficult. You guys are trash at what you're doing. Dave Smith is once again a ditz at best. So thus there's room for it to go at him in certain ways, and thus leaves room for Nick. Tucker, mediocre. Candace, mediocre. And because Nick says something slightly outside of their purview of what they're willing to say, he looks like a fucking king. When in reality, he's a sweeper. He sweeps floors at best. But don't worry about that. I'm just a random guy on the internet. Here we go.
well, when Nick says the words Jews are not assimilable in society, and Tucker just lets that go, we've got to be honest, Dave. We really.
I love Stalin and lets that go.
Well, he said we'll come back to that.
But
and
he did.
but also, like, that happens sometimes, as you guys know, in interviews. Like, you
that
don't
would
always...
never happen with us.
Okay, fine. But things happen where you're like, oh, I wanted to get to this point. I wanted to debate this too. I guarantee in this interview right now, there's views I have that you guys both think are wrong that we don't get to on this show.
But yeah, look, I don't agree with
especially their morality, right, Dave? But here we go.
you that broccoli is brilliant, if that's what you believe. But if you said I love Stalin, we might come back to it.
Fair enough. But
especially if you are the voice
I
of
love Stalin is like
conservative America.
That's how Nick survives, because they're pointing out the most mediocre takes on why Nick Fuentes is dog cheeks. Because if they bring up the Monroe Doctrine, let's blow up South America, these guys are with that, so you can't bring that up. Dave is in a love fest where he's trying to, like, hey man, I'm fair. See, look, I'm nice to Nick Fuentes. I'm not some SJW. I'm not offended. I'm not hurt. I'm one of the cool kids. Because Dave's doing that, he can't bring up Nick Fuentes' neocon policies. So thus, no one covers Nick Fuentes' neocon fucking policies, and thus he skates by.
And I never heard Nick Fuentes saying he loves Stalin, because that would be like the opposite, right? Of what he boasts.
I think that
he would be against him because he's a communist.
Well, I think there's like either Ben Shapiro's or Mark Levin's little mixtape on Nick Fuentes, where it's like clearly the guy's trolling, right? And you just take that and run with it. So I have heard that, but I don't take it. I take it in jest. Pause. Not like
so. This
being serious.
This wrecks these two as well.
Not really. Well, okay.
Yeah, it does.
No, because they're playing the game where they get a response from Nick Fuentes, where they bring up let's be real, the weakest argument you can make against Nick Fuentes, right? You bring something weak up, and he responds to it. guess what? They're going to check out, the fans will check out what these guys said about it, and thus they get more viewership. Just like Ben Shapiro. Just like Ben Shapiro talking about wet-ass pussies, right? Like, it's the same fucking thing, dude. They're trying to build a perpetual, a fucking cycle machine thing where they all survive somehow. And guess what? They can make content on Nick. They can make some shit about them. It's like Kyle Kalinske and Asmongold. These guys can go back and forth, just making mediocre arguments towards each other instead of like nipping the shit in the bud, like as like an honest person. Like, hey man, I'm not here to play fucking games with you. Here's the real fucking point. Here's my real point. They may not want to do that because...
Or Nick Fuentes can go ahead and say, so what? I do love Stalin. Bring it.
Maybe.
Which makes Fuentes the winner again, and these two not even realize that's not his opinion at all. He's against fucking Stalin.
Maybe. Actually, maybe, here's the thing here. I think Fuentes has kind of, in a way, entrained his audience enough to where whatever he says is neutral, no matter what. Because he might be trolling, he might not be. So thus the point is, like, no matter what he says, they'll always be like, yeah, Nick, yeah, get him, Nick. Or, oh, Nick's just trolling, depending on whatever perspective you're coming from. Thus, there's no losing, in a way. He will look good no matter what. It's like, it's an interesting marketing thing I think that Nick is engaging in. But once again, we're at kindergarten level, apparently, psychologically, with the populace, like, watching these content creators. So thus, they won't even, like, that's even more sophisticated than what they're used to, like, by a lot, probably. So thus, it'll continue the way it is until someone walks into the kitchen and says, yo, man, I'm cooking real food here. Yeah, it's all organic. Right, that right there, grass-fed, don't worry about that. Taking care of everything. You're good. Everything's good. Until that happens.
You know what's not a meme? Stalin did nothing wrong. That is not a meme. It's another guy that's a meme about.
We'll just say it, Hitler. The Austrian painter. That's the meme they use in, not meme, but like the code word they use in chats. Yeah. The Austrian painter, aka Hitler. Which is funny. Like, that's funny troll. Like, I forgive me, I have a guilty pleasure towards it, but like, trolling is fucking hilarious to me. It's kind of funny. A lot of the jokes are funny.
No, but see,
but like,
the reason it's not a meme is because who's going to get outraged about Stalin did nothing wrong?
He's not big enough,
right
bro.
people.
Not
the right people.
Not a big enough name, man.
But if you
Hitler.
But if you say Hitler did nothing wrong, it's the right people that are going to lose their shit over that statement.
What do you mean Hitler did nothing wrong, huh? They get into a whole banter about it and kind of rage on it. But like, I appreciate the artwork in regards to trolling. Believe it or not, it is a comedy form, and I kind of have a little bit of respect for it. Which is why, like, I had that, like, kind of talk with Stryker. It's like there's like I have a respect kind of for the whole thing itself, because sometimes it's just fucking funny. It is what it is. It's funny, bro. You know, giant dick Bob Sapp sitting on George Floyd. As crude as the humor is, it's still funny when someone's spamming it. It's still kind of funny. Like, I can't help it. Opie and Anthony. They're with Patrice and fucking Jimmy Norton and all that shit, and Bill Burr and all that. I laugh my ass off. Rich Voss, you know, like I can't help it. I laugh my ass off when I hear these things sometimes. It's very crude. It's kind of dark, but it's like you laugh but you cover your mouth when you're laughing. It's like that style of thing. So like laughing out loud, you like laugh in quiet. Because like you're not supposed to laugh at that. Or even like early day South Park, right? And they weren't pussies. Either way, here we go. Let's keep playing. Old Jordan dissertation. Here we go.
But if you said I love Stalin, we might come back to it.
Fair enough, but
especially if you are the voice of conservative America. And someone comes on your show and says they love the greatest mass murderer in the ideology of your opposition, communism, in history.
That's what these idiots got from.
I'm saying people are always leaving the goat.
Aren't you guys comedians?
It's not fair.
Right.
I have some dispute about how much of that was intentional and how much of that was not.
But then there's a whole other argument of does that even really matter at a certain point? But
I think your correction is true. The second greatest. I'm Russian, so I'm a bit biased towards it.
Fair enough.
So trying to build up the numbers, right? Those jokes could go out of context and wrong. That's a different category. And if I was the voice of conservative America and someone praised Hitler and then came on my show and also praised Stalin, I think I might be like, what?
Sure. And isn't it reasonable to say that, like, okay, I understand there's going to be people who praise Hitler and people who praise Stalin, but you can't praise both, man. Like, you got to be good. You got to be good on the other one. I'm just saying, if someone loves Adolf Hitler, the one thing I can count on is that they're good on hating Joseph Stalin, and vice versa. So anyway, there's that.
So that gets into the question.
But I think, like, look, this is how I feel, kind of more broadly about the thing with Nick Fuentes himself, right? And I don't know him super well, but we hung out a little bit after we did the show, and I don't. Look, I feel like, and I think I've seen you yourself talk about this, and maybe even, I can't remember the exact thing you said, but you might have even said that it was the most dangerous part of wokeism on the left. And I certainly know I've been on record predicting this, Jordan Peterson, and all these people have said for so many years. Like, our whole thing to the woke left was,
what did you guys predict?
I don't know if I would quite put it as the worst part of it, but you'd be like, you be careful. You have no idea what you're stirring up here.
100%.
And essentially, now there's many things going on.
So it's the woke left's fault. We're all in agreement with that. Got it. Even though those ideas have been around for a long time, it's just they're a little bit louder now. Or they were a little bit louder. Okay? It's just a lame, like, no wonder. Even the controversy is, like, lame as shit, bro. I feel bad for kids growing up in this fucking era. God, it's god-awful. It's boring and stupid. This is your controversy? Black Little Mermaid is your fucking controversy? Oh my god, the SJW stuff is, That's it? That weak-ass shit? That's it, dude? Where's your creators? Where's your inventors? Where's that shit at? Who cares?
One of the dynamics, but that's a big part of it, right?
Sure.
So now we see that emerging. We see that reaction emerging. I think.
But you shit on white men long enough, they're gonna go, well, okay, we're white and we're men, and f you.
Yeah, that's right. And
you shit on white men long enough. No, I didn't. They bleeped No, they bleeped it out. If you shit on white men long enough, it's a statement. How long is long enough? I'm looking at a watch right now. How long is long enough? As far as where we need to push back against this. Since what? 2016? It's like 2016? Is that the era you're talking about? It's embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing. It really is. They're trying to take the white man down since 2016. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut the actual fuck up. I get it in your artwork, okay? Or I get it. I can empathize with it, but it's just like, fuck, is that a lame venture to, like, invest your time? It's so fucking lame. It's stupid. Oh, fuck. I thought grown men could just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Or adults can just keep it moving. Why is it like a thing? Did I see three kind of weak-looking men? Like, no offense to Dave, he's like, I'm not trying to make fun of Dave so much. It's Dilbert and Fuckface. I see two little dweebs, and I see Dave, who's, let's be real, weak in the shoulders. I see a weak man there as well, telling me about manhood. I'm like, come on, dude, stop it. You're not the jocks in high school. Stop it. You're not those guys. Tell us what manhood should look like. And once again, they don't mean like, pay your bills, take care of your kids. They mean like actually masculinity. And I look at these three, I'm like, where? Where's the savage male at? Where's the caveman at? I don't see that fool there. The fuck out of here. The fuck are we talking about? Like, I don't see motherfuckers that work with their hands ever. Get the fuck out of here. There's nothing. Once again, there's nothing wrong with, you know, all these different like different versions of people, but they're making it a thing. And I'm looking at them like, why are you guys trying to make this a thing? When I look at you guys, I don't see that thing that you're talking about. I don't see it. So, like, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm wrecked, bro. These fools probably can't even shovel, like, regular ass dirt, bro. Give it a buck. Tell me about this stereotypical masculine thing. It's stupid. Like, first of all, the idea itself is fucking stupid. Like, some people are this, some people are that, but, like, it's these guys that are telling us that we need more masculine stuff in culture. And it fucking bothers me. I'm like, no, like, if I punch you in the shoulder, you're gonna fucking crumble. I already know that. You're gonna call your doctor the fucking next day. I already know that. So, like, why are we doing this? Why are you guys doing this? Stop it. Like, just... Here we go. Whatever.
And right, and it's the natural response that I think young people in general would have. So my thing is that there's a whole young audience of people who listen to this guy, and I don't wish to berate them with Nick. Like, I want to open up the conversation and allow them
Nick's
to see that, like, they're.
Funny enough, that's Nick's job. That's what they get their rocks. They get their rocks kicked off from that shit, from fucking from Nick insulting them about their own lives. In a way, like, you guys are stupid. I know better. You're dumb. I'm smart. It's part of the appeal of Nick Fuentes. I get it. It's like gamers, like gamer community thing, right?
I wish you could consider that maybe they've listened to Dave Smith and they agree with Nick Fuentes. That's why they choose to listen to Nick Fuentes.
But, like, if I hear Nick Fuentes' ideas out loud, I'm like, first of all, these aren't original. They're not new. They're definitely not created by you. They're borrowed. Now, someone might not know that, but at the same time, like, at some point you have to ask the question, like, hey, man, what am I doing? He's like, okay, there's plenty, sure, there's plenty of Nick stuff out there, but, like, what am I doing as a listener?
What are you talking about? Everybody that we watch and you examine, their ideas are borrowed.
Oh, come on. There's a strict difference. Very strict difference. Well, I mean, Nick has borrowed culturally things. From the mannerisms, to the aesthetics, to the ideas themselves. He's quite a borrowed thing. He's like a child vacuum cleaning fucking ideas off the fucking floor. He really does come off like that. Versus, like, you see, like, Fuckface and Dilbert, right? If they get questioned about a certain thing, they may have, like, a prepared answer somewhat, but they have to actually entangle themselves within it to some degree.
Borrowed.
Yeah, basically borrowed. Like their direction they're going in is borrowed, but the way they get their way around it might be to do, like, a little bit of work, unless Dave helps him out, which he's been doing. But I mean, man, I mean borrowed as in, like, you're not consciously taking an idea. You're just, like, repeating things you've heard in the past versus, like, actually, like, being present and actually saying something in the present from your own perspective. Nick does not do that. Meanwhile, like, sure, these guys don't do it either, but, like, it's still...
He goes light on the topic, I'll give you that. He doesn't get into the deepness of the consideration.
It's not about deepness. It's more about, like, it's more so about that Nick is nothing unique or interesting other than maybe his circumstances, which he also borrowed from, right? He didn't choose to be, like, in this scenario, right? if he had his choice, my guess would be he'd be like world famous speaker, doing lectures and shit like that, right? But he's kind of forced by the world into these pockets of the internet to grow a celebrity at. Versus like someone who's like actually like, I'm legit. I'm choosing what I'm doing here. It's not borrowed. It's not borrowed aspirations. It's not borrowed ideas. This is what I really think about the world. Like, really think. I think Nick is a victim of, and his fans will find out one day, possibly, that Nick is not something special about what's going on over there. It is very much a man of the time situation. Very much so.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just saying.
Magic fucking words.
Meaning, like, if I change time periods, Nick might look like an idiot and he might adjust to it. You know what I'm saying? He's only as good as the world around him.
I would adjust to the times around me, too.
So, if we bring back slavery, you're going to go with it, right? You'll stay with slavery.
Dude, if we bring back slavery, I'm going to be the fucking volunteer to fucking keep the slaves on the plantation.
Yeah, you're trolling, but at the same time, I think you would be like, yeah, that's not right. I can't do that. That's wrong. Meaning, if the times change, you don't move with it, right? You have principles you can't break, right? I hope. Does Nick?
Nobody has principles.
And there it is again. The shit I wrecked you on already. I'm giving them like a minute more. Tops. A minute. 137.44.
Whole young audience of people who listen to
that.
this guy. And I don't wish to berate them with Nick. Like, I want to open up the conversation and allow them to see that, like, there is legitimacy to their grievances, but there is also a very dark path that they can go down with those grievances, right? So, like, that's a big part of it. And then the other thing is like
intellectually inferior.
I do think
everything that happens on this Discord.
We kind of, like I said this when I was interviewing Nick. Where, which I know guys our age, we've all had this thought before where we're like, thank God there wasn't all of this stuff around when I was a kid. Yeah. Because my God, and I remember one of the examples that I really thought, and I wasn't like the toughest kid, but we were like a little group of hooligans. We probably thought we were tougher than we actually were. But I remember when Sandman, Nicholas Sandman, I believe was his name, the Catholic kid.
Sandman,
who was just smiling at the Native American.
Yeah.
And then when the full video came out, you were like, I mean, he actually could not have handled it better.
Right.
You would be so proud of your kid if your kid was in that situation and handled it that way. But I remember thinking, like, what would me and my group of friends have said when the black Israelites came over and they started going to these kids and they go, you're a bunch of rapists and colonizers and you ruined this and I mean, me and my friends, dude, when I was 19 or whatever, we would have been like, that's right, bitch, that's why you got raped. I mean, we would have said the most hard, just because that's how we were as little kids.
Okay, I went a little past the minute time zone. I did cover that thing. Was it Covington kids?
Sandman.
Yeah, the Covington kids. They were doing what I would have did in high school for sure. Right? We were just mocking, like, oh, right? They were doing that. It didn't get caught. It was caught on camera, but it wasn't like, made into a thing. But they were doing that. Right? How do you bang this drum in front of this kid? Like, well, there was things going down that day, like stupid kid shit. Right? You shouldn't be like. It's pretty simple to figure out, but we're idiots and we love the controversy and. Fuck, there's nothing going on in my life, so you know what? Let me watch it on the internet. Let me watch what's going on in Covington. The Covington kids. It's just like trash. But you know what? I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. I mean, please, most important thing I want to hear, if anyone makes it to this part of the video, please tell me. Should they be better at pointing out if someone's being a fucking full of shit fucking liar? Or do you want them to like continue on with the entertainment aspect of things, which is be cordial and let the talk show happen, versus like actually like I want to get rid of corrupt. I want to get rid of bullshit. I'm done. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. You tell me. Maybe something in between. You tell me. Pause. You tell me where you're coming from. Pause. Also, please.
Well, then.
Okay.
Then how are we going to make currencies?
Okay.
It's corruption is required for currency to function.
What am I going to do for entertainment if Dave Smith just absolutely shuts these two children down and makes them look like children, like actual children in front of everyone? What do we do then? Who's Dave going to debate? We're past the point, bro. It's too late, man. Too many dead bodies have piled up. It's too much. Too much. But that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can tell me in the comment section what you actually believe. Don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord if you want to join that. I am in that Discord. We are all in that Discord right now. If you want to check that out, all opinions are welcome. Nothing pornographic or
except
grotesque.
Yours. Except yours. Yours isn't accepted here.
That's right,
I'm talking to you, audience.
Whoever you are, whoever your is, I swear to God, you're banned for life. Your is banned for life. And obviously everything I showed you in this video, which is just us basically, will be linked in the description box. Did I show anything else? Yeah, just this video will be linked in the description box for you to watch without us pausing it, saying smarter things than the entire thing you watch from dumb fuck Triggernometry. That's the name? These are your intellectuals? Triggernometry? Are you fucking kidding me? There's nothing creative about that. Fucking Christ. Go watch more movies, guys. There's more creativity out there. I beg you to. But yeah. And music. And TV. And photography and painting. Do that instead.
And the history began October 7th.
This is true. And with all that said, give this video and October 7th, give it a major thumbs down.